I'm here. I'm here. I was on mute. Yeah, I was just saying that I was here 15:05, no Fazan Bogle. So guess what? It's all good. I'm here, and I was on time. I was just saying Sky did a very, very good, put on a really, really impressive display. Early doors. I mean, him and Ishan Kishan debut 50 is just so impressive. So that's really good signs for India at least. And yeah, I mean, I would take England slightly in front because I feel like you need a big total batting first. And I know Dinesh Karthik was saying that this is the easiest wicket to bat on. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. It's quite difficult sometimes to tell in a T20. They're just showing a Rishabh Pant's wicket, Jofra Archer ball around the wicket and just cartwheeling. I mean, Pant's just tried to swing through the line there, hasn't quite picked up the length correctly there. Being for pace, it looks like as well. Usher says, "Well done, Sky. Played very well." Yeah, he played very well. I mean, it's almost like he was nailed on to get a 50 after hitting his first ball for 6, wasn't it? And I think it was like a 90-mile-per-hour delivery, 90-mile-per-hour bouncer that he just pulled over fine leg for 6. Unbelievable shot. Almost, I think Mike Afton said it was almost like Greenwich, wasn't it? And I said thoughts on his wicket. Yeah, a bit controversial. To be honest, I haven't seen the replay multiple times. I've only seen it once, so I'm going to wait until the innings break, and then I will let you know. But I mean, very fantastic innings either way. Current run rate of 8.82, which is pretty good. Interesting that Joff Archer's trying to mix it up. He's got the quicker deliveries of the 140 plus that we're accustomed to seeing, and he's also gone down to 170 and 111. I think he's probably got that from Chris Jordan. And actually, let me update my banner as well at the bottom for you guys as well. So it's 148 for 5 off. It will be 15 overs. So I'll change the score if need be. Let's hope it's a dot. Or 16.5 overs even. God, I can't read. And yeah, I mean, England have looked pretty good early doors, but then Sky did very, very well. Did extremely well, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's see. Let's see how it goes. In the sports says Eshwin is in which language? I have no idea. I think it might be in Hindi, I'm assuming, but maybe it might be a mix of Hindi and English. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I've never checked out the channel. I've never checked it out. So I do not know. 149 for 5. Just having a look at the scorecard. I mean, Surya Kumar is a 57 off 31, and Shreyas IS 25 of 12, Pant 30 of 23. Usher says it's in Tamil and English. How are people watching it? Not many people speak Tamil, so if it's a blend of Tamil and English, then I'm assuming people are just tuning in and trying to understand what's going on. They're only going to understand the English, right? I'm assuming, because there are quite a few Tamils in India, but I don't think it's majority language from what I know. So that's interesting. But I mean, he'll get people watching him anyway, won't he? He's a professional cricket player and like a superstar, so I doubt people will just tune in if they don't understand. I'd assume that's probably the case. It's 149 for 5 of 17 overs, 3 overs left. I mean, what's a decent score for India? I think they need probably 180. 180. What's that? So that would mean they need 30 plus overs off the last 3. That's very doable. If they can get towards as close as possible to that 200, it will help. It will help, I'm telling you now. And the reason why I say that is because the team batting second always, seems to be winning. Like chasing seems to be very easy on this wicket as Hardik Pandya pulls that away. That's a really good shot, 6 runs. Pulls, wow, Jofra Archer away to the leg side. Was it Chris Jordan actually? Sorry, Chris Jordan away to the leg side. Over fine leg, very, very good shot. Usher says Arnold's on it too, by the way. Okay. Arnold, former Sri Lanka player. Interesting. Interesting he's got him on as well, actually. Well, very, very interesting. Let's see. Oh, 63 meters, very, very good stuff though. I mean, India they started off pretty slowly. I think they were 45 of the first 6 overs, which was pretty slow going. Still have the slight issue in the first power play, not really able to get out to a really good start, but they've accelerated through the middle overs, which is very good. And Shreyas Iyer has done a very good job as well. He's 25 of 12. And obviously, Kumar, we know, batted really well. Got his 50 of 30 odd deliveries. Well, that's interesting. I think Chris Jordan has just bowled 150 Ks there. He got 151. That's absolutely rapid for him. I mean, I know you can bowl quick, but I'm not expecting him to bowl that quick. So interesting. Yeah, 151 Ks from him. Current run rate's gone up to 9 and over. So I think India are going to be looking at 190. I reckon, and they can do it. This is a pretty big over so far as well. They can just continue the momentum. Then we might have a good chase on our hands because I think everyone knows that batting second at the moment on this track anyway in this stadium, you have the advantage, don't you? You have the advantage. So the best thing that they can do really is to post a really imposing total and put pressure on England chasing, because really you kind of need to get above par score even. And just showing Shreyas Iyer's highlights looks really good, doesn't he? And I should have said it here. Yeah, Shreyas Iyer batting brilliantly. Yeah, he does, and he looks like someone who can play. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in all 3 formats, to be honest with you. I really wouldn't at all. As Shreyas Iyer is just facing Chris Jordan here and goes big down the ground. That's a very, very good shot. Just over Chris Jordan's head even for Chris Jordan bowling quick here. Probably needs to utilise his change-ups and slower balls a bit more. Because, I mean, he got up to 150 Ks, which is fine, but you need to be really spot on because he's given pace here and it's a half volley almost. And Shreyas Iyer's just swung through the line, turned in his hands a little bit. Doesn't matter because quick bat speed through the ball over Chris Jordan's head and it splits the 2 fielders out on the boundary for 4. And Usher says, "Oh my God, Shreyas Iyer." Can you guys tell that Usher really likes Shreyas Iyer? He loves him. 29 off 14 for him. And another good shot. That's an absolute cracker of a shot. That is a beauty. That is a shot over extra cover for 6. That's a big one. That's a very tough shot to hit. So Usher can get excited about that shot because that was an unbelievable shot. And again, though, Chris Jordan giving pace, and he's such a good change-up bowler. So I'm a bit confused as to why he's not bowling slower balls and cutters like he normally would at this stage of the innings. Like, you've got to change it up, and he hasn't done so. He's bowled pace again. It's a fantastic shot from Shreyas Iyer. It's 78 meters, but it's flat and it's over extra cover. It's a really, really good shot. And then you can see Jordan almost trying to. I think he's trying to actually go Yorker there, like wide Yorker. But where's the cutters and slower balls to like really stick it in the surface and make it hard? He's not making the batsman have to generate that pace. He's basically saying to the batsman, "Here we go. Here's some pace on the ball, and as long as you make a decent connection with it, you're going to get runs here." So the projected score is 186, but 12 runs and over, they get 192. So I reckon they're looking at 190 at least. Shreyas Iyer goes into the leg side this time. Very, very good innings though so far from him, and this has been, I have to say, it's shown a different gear to him, hasn't it? I think from what we've seen so far in this series, and he's been impressive, and he was quite divisive. I think a lot of my subscribers were saying that he's not particularly good and he's overrated. Some were also saying that actually no, he deserves his place, and he should be in the side. I think he's proven probably in this series that he should be in the side. I think. I mean, it's tough to exclude someone who's been scoring like he has done, and I know he scored one very good 50 in the first one, and yes, he hasn't scored in every single match, but I think he's been a consistent performer, and he's performed now in this one as well in a different role, almost like a finishing role. So he's showing a bit of versatility there as well, which is good. Usher says that's the shot. That shot is the one I reacted to with this. Okay, that makes more sense. I was going to say the one down the ground was a good shot, but I didn't think it was a Capitals worthy shot to comment on. But yeah, 100%. I think Mark Wood that they're bringing on? So normally, right, Chris Jordan they've bowled out Chris Jordan, which is quite interesting because normally they have Chris Jordan at the death, as in he bowls the 19th or 20th, and he'll bowl the 18th and 20th. I think he's been bowled out now. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw that he was bowled out. In fact, let me check while. Oh, that's almost Yorker length there from Mark Wood, but Shreyas Iyer does well. He backs away to the leg side, does very well to pretty much times that perfectly, really, to the fielder. I think he just goes a bit deeper in his crease. Very, very good batting from Shreyas Iyer there. Impressive stuff for sure. Chris Jordan. No, he's bowled his 4, I think. He has bowled his 4, yeah. He has bowled his 4. And, here comes Mark Wood. Oh, that's right up in the air. Oh, just dropped short. Very, very good shot. And for some reason, ESPN, yeah, they got it wrong. They said it was Jofra Archibald, and I was like, no, it's not. It's Mark Wood. Yeah, it is Mark Wood. 170 for 5. Very, very interesting match. I'm telling you now, it's going to be a very, very interesting chase for sure. Just falling, I guess, beyond Morgan over his head. Tries to dive for it, but not close enough to it. Morgan a bit frustrated, I think, there, which is fair enough. Fair enough for sure. Oh, really good stuff. Oh. So we look at Hardik Pandya's short balls, and he just really punishes most of them, to be honest with you, unless it's really, really tight and it's a well-directed short ball or bouncer, like it's going to be tough. Obviously, Archer, though, eventually, catching him out after Jordan bowled a shorter one to him, the last one, but it's interesting. I don't know whether he struggles with it at all or not. Shreya Mohija, thank you very much for joining. Mark Wood, very good, quicker, shorter delivery there to Hardik Pandya. Because, hey, hope you're enjoying the match. Yeah, it's been very good so far, actually. I'm hoping that India are going to post a pretty big total here because I feel like they will need it, as a team chasing second seems to always win so far in this series, and it seems to be a pretty big advantage bowling first. So let's see. Let's see. So, do you think England is going to chase it down with 5 Indian bowlers? I think that the smart money would say yes, right? Because as I said, every time someone has gone to chase a score, it's been a lot easier. But I think if India can get 190 plus, what a catch! Oh my gosh, what a catch! I know that's Ben Stokes at extra cover. He's just taken an absolute blinder of Hardik Pandya. Wow, diving to his left. Hardik Pandya has to go for 11 off 8. And Shreyas Iyer, though, still in 37 or 17. And why are they doing a review? They're trying to see whether they took it cleanly. Hey? Bizarre. Why are they checking it? What are they checking for? To see whether it's grounded. Hey? No, he's got it. Why are they checking it? No, it's in his hand the whole time. That's so bizarre. I don't know why they've reviewed that, but anyway. But yeah, if India can get 190 plus, then I think they're in the game. As in, we're looking at like potentially 50-50. But if they don't get higher than 190, I think it's going to be really, really tough. And they've got 7 balls remaining. So let's see. Which is the roll. Yeah, but the roll doesn't matter though. That looked really, really clean. The way you got it, and also I think if it's in your hand, if you've taken it cleanly for a certain amount of time, it's in your hand, then it doesn't matter. So yeah. But yeah, let's see how this goes. It's 170 for 6, 1 ball remaining in this over. Mark Wood, this is an absolutely beautiful over so far. Anyway, 3 runs and a wicket from it. 1 ball remaining. Mark Wood, I'm assuming he's just going to bowl quick. I mean, he doesn't really have a slow ball. He just bowls as quick as he can, but mixes it up. He's not someone who just is erratic and tries to clean people up. He knows I've got to bowl a bit shorter. I've got to bowl kind of angled into the batsman or my Yorker. He just utilizes his strengths and tries to hit the deck hard and hit the bat hard. Let's see. Takor, Shardul Thakur's on. Let's see how he can do. Oh, that's a fantastic shot. Wow. That's actually a really good shot. And he does what, to be honest with you, a lot of people should have been doing, which is using the pace of Mark Wood, and he just backs away to the leg side, opens the face of the bat, and just runs it down towards just wide of third man for four, and it just flies off the bat. That's a really, really good shot. Let's have a look again. He just angled into him, and he actually just kind of sways a little bit and just uppercuts it almost towards third man. That's a very, very good shot. And it's not an easy shot to play either. And Asher says the roll to call with a beauty. Yep, with an absolutely fantastic shot. It's 174 for 6. So I'm saying if they get 16 off this over, pretty doable. 16 or more, I reckon India, I reckon it's a 50-50. But if not, I think it's going to be hard for India. I do. I have a feeling that I just have a feeling that chasing for some, because of the dew factor, or because of the pitch, or the strip seems to be easier to bat on second. Dinesh Karthik was saying this is the easiest track to bat on apparently out of the 4 tracks that they've had so far. So if this pitch is the easiest to bat on, then you need to get 190 plus, I'm assuming, at least, right, to be competitive. So they've got time here. Archer's going to bowl the death over. So yeah, no Jordan at the death. It's actually been Archer on Wood, which is interesting. And that's going to be 4 runs, isn't it? Or is that going to be out? No, it's not. Oh, it's out. Shreyas Iyer. Oh no. A fantastic innings comes to an end, 37 or 17, and he will be livid with himself because he's literally just found the fielder on the fence at deep square leg. And all he needed to do was either get under it more, and he's timed that well, but it's just too flat. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's flipped it in to the leg side, but it's just too flat, and it's gone straight to the man. He needed more elevation, or he needed to pick it either side. Obviously, he's not looking to pick out that man, so it's unlucky. Good bowling though from Archer. I guess bowling to his field, bowling to his legs, knowing he's got protection there as well. And Shreyas Iyer has to go 37 off 18. Good knock, very good knock, but they still need runs here, and really that's a big blow. With I think would it be Bhuvneshwar Kumar coming in? No, Washington Sundar. Okay, so Washington Sundar's in, and obviously we've got Shardul Thakur is in as already, who we know can hit. He's going to have to hit pretty big here. He goes and he tries to go big, and he goes straight. Oh, lands just in front of mid-off. So only a single there. Guys watching as well, thank you very much for joining. Please do remember to like the video. It really does help. And subscribe if you haven't already. Again, greatly appreciated your legends, and I appreciate everyone for joining. Bit fortunate there with that shot, but you have to do it at this point. There's only a few balls left. He's just got to go for it now. Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar as well. Both of them just need to go big. Go big and really just go for their shots. Can't be looking, giving yourself even a ball to get in. Just got to go for it. Let's have a look. I'm just waiting to see Archer. Come on, Archer. I say come on, Archer. I don't really mind. I actually want India to get runs. Oh, and that's runs. That's runs. And they'll take that. They'll take that. Is that a buy? Has he got something? No, he's got something on it. It's a thin outside edge, I think, from Washington Sundar. He's gone after what ended up being a full toss, really, by Jofra Archer. He's tried to, I think, bowl a Yorker lengther. Let's have a look. Oh, he's tried to bowl Yorker. Ends up being a very low full toss. He actually digs it into the ground, goes behind the keeper, runs away for 4. Pretty unlucky from Jofra Archer, and a bit fortunate for Washington Sundar, but fortune favours the brave at this point in the innings. You just got to swing to the hills, really. I mean, you have to use 3 balls left, 179. This time, does he get enough? No, he doesn't. Oh, almost a very, very fantastically innovative shot from Washington Sundar, but he actually hits it straight to the man at fine third man almost. not really a conventional third man. Washington uppercuts it straight to the man, and he would have been looking to go, I think, a bit finer, even more fine than he did, and hits the man though, unfortunately. Oh yeah, he's gone wider than he's expecting, I think, there. And goes straight to Arda Rashid, I think it is, yep. And it's a pretty easy catch in the end. There's these fine margins, right? If if he's hit that maybe a couple of meters longer at 6 runs, it's crazy to think about. It's actually he's the way he's hit that, he's hit it cleanly. There's nothing wrong with that shot in terms of the connection he's got on it. He just has hit it straight to the man. And I don't know why they keep on. What's the review for? Has he? Actually, hasn't touched the boundary. That's why. It's for the touch in the boundary. Let's have a look. I don't think he has. Let's have a look. No, I think there's daylight there. I think there's daylight there. Yeah, it looks alright. Looks alright, I think. I don't think he's clipped it. They need to zoom in if they are even thinking about not giving it out. You can't. The front on is the worst view to have it. You can't tell front on. It needs to be side on. It doesn't. I mean, judging from the front on, which again is not a very good view, it doesn't look like it is. But I don't think he has. Although, because it looks like there's a shadow in between the foot and the boundary. What do you guys think? Think that's out? Or do you think it's well, it would be 6 runs? I think. Hmm, I would say that's out. I can see a gap, I think, between his boot and the boundary, but I wonder what they're saying. I can't. Obviously, I can't hear. And they're really checking this thoroughly, aren't they? What do you guys think? Out or not? Let me know. Soft signal's out, by the way. So the soft signal's out, then it should be given out. I think it doesn't look like you can't see the boundary move, which I'd assume it would slightly move his touch down. It looks like there's daylight between his boot and the boundary. I think, from what I can see, although it's pretty fuzzy, to be honest, it's not the clearest picture in the world. Oh god. Thing is, I can understand, right? I can understand having a replay and really looking through it, etc. But when they do it this much, I'm just like, I think it's out. I personally think it's out, but I'm not listening to commentary though, so I have no idea what the commentators are saying. Let's see what they're going to do. Are they going to give it out or not out? Let's have a look. They're going to give it out. Okay, yeah, I think it's out. I think it's out as well. Very, very. That's unlucky, I think, from Washington Sundar as well, because as I said, the shot was not a bad shot. I think it's just the way he's hit it, and he doesn't look happy walking off. But you're going to have to go, mate. They've got 2 balls remaining, 179. So they need 190 plus. They're not going to. Well, they can get that if they hit 2 6s here, which I think they need pretty badly. I think they need at least a 6, and I don't know. They need at least 6 off this. The rest of this, they need 185. I kind of as a minimum, I'd say. And it sounds so silly to say 6 runs makes a difference, but it really does. Like 6 runs makes a huge difference for sure. Oh, 179 for 8 off the 19. Oh, he's given it a wide. Global bouncer from Jofra Archer. He's given it a wide. I don't think that's a wide at all, to be honest with you. That's a bit harsh. That's very harsh. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, interesting. It's not a wide at all. It's actually gone straight past his head. So That's a pretty poor call, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. So look, oh, that's quick from Jofra Archer, but he's picked that up and he's given him pace there. It's 146 Ks right in the slot. It really is. And Takor just swings away to that wide mid-on region, cow corner, really. Just swing, quick bat speed, turns in his hand, doesn't matter. He's got enough of it. He's timed that and he's hit that pretty hard through the cow corner region. It's 4 runs. And Jofra Archer's 4 for 32 here. So ruining his figures a little bit because he's got 4 wickets. And I think he'll be disappointed that he was conceded that 4 and there's still now another ball left in this over. I tell you what, if they get boundary, they're in. I tell you what, they're in it. They're in it. They're in it to win it. Let's have a look. Oh, that was going to be a wide. He should have left that to Court. That was a wide. Jofra Archer's got away with that big time. You know that. That was a really, really bad slow ball Yorker, and he's got away with it. It's 185 for 8 of 20 overs. Just going to update the score. Is that enough? Is the question, isn't it? Is it enough? Is the question. I don't know if it is, actually. I don't know if it is. I do not know if it is. Oh, live fourth T20 International. We're at the change of overs and, well, not change of overs, change of innings even. And I think England will be. I don't think they'll be ecstatic because I think they will probably think they could have restricted them to slightly less even. But I think they'll be happy. They'll be happy overall. I think with the I think they'll be pretty happy. I think overall with it. But I think England will be happy with this 100%. Just looking at the scorecard before I go on to that. I mean, Surya Kumar with a ridiculous, unbelievable debut. Him and Ishan Kishan have both put on unbelievable displays on their debuts. He scored 57 or 31. Shreyas Iyer really the only other one. And Rishabh Pant, I guess, with 20 and 30 odd each. Archer, obviously, the pick of the bowlers, 4 for him. Unbelievable stuff. Even though he was a little bit expensive in the last over, that happens at the death. Only an economy of 8.25, which, given he bowled the death as well, really impressive. Rashid, a little bit more expensive today, 9.75 economy, but he got the vital wicket with an absolute beauty of a googly of Virat Kohli, which was an unbelievable stuff. And Achal Shah says, "Oh wow, you started early today. Fazan Bogli tag worked out. It seems. Yeah, you can't call me Fazan Bogli now, Achal, because I was on time as well. I said 3:05. I was here 3:05. So that's UK GMT time on the dot. But yeah, Achal, what do you think? 185, I think, is probably below par. I would assume. I was thinking they need 190 plus India to have like a 50-50 chance of the chase, but I think 185 is probably below par. I mean, they looked at one point as if they could get 200, and I think, as I said, 190 plus, I think they can put pressure on England. 200, you're looking at scoreboard pressure there. 185, I just think is going to be difficult because it clearly is easier to bat second on this on these pitches in Ahmedabad. So let's see how it goes. But I think the due factor and also just the pitch, getting flatter, which does seem a bit crazy to say because we're talking about 2020 game here where not many overs are played on, but I think the pitches are made to maybe slightly change here in Ahmedabad as well in the change of innings, and the toss has had an unbelievably big effect in the first 3. I think they weren't particularly competitive. I think we were talking about it before. Is 185 a competitive enough score to kind of run England close so that, either way, India either defend it in a competitive defense of their score, or if we see competitive chase where England don't just run away with it. Let's see. I think it could have been a lot worse for sure. I think it could have been a lot worse, especially when India were, what were they, 45 for naught off 6 overs, 45 for 1 off 6 overs. So Yeah, Charles says 185 is par on this wicket, but India has only 5 bowlers, and 3 of those are Hardik, Chahar, and Washington, hence 15 to 20 below par. Yeah, I would say 185 is probably par, but I think what Dinesh Karthik was saying, and again, I don't know, I'm not there, and he's not there either, to be fair, but he was saying that, like, looking at the pitch, it looks like that this pitch is the easiest to bat on out of the 4 pitches so far this series. So what I would say to that is, so he was saying, look, they need to go big, and also in addition to that, because it's easy to bat second, you need to almost have a premium on top of that par score. You need to have, as a child, I think you're saying as well, the 15, 20 extra runs. Well, that's what they would have been looking for and really needing. I think it's going to be tough for them, but if they can start off well, I think early wickets are key here. They can't afford to let someone like Butler start like how he did in the in the T20 last T20 even. They let Butler just take the game away from them. If they can get Butler early, which is not out of the realms of possibility, they can get him and Roy, both pretty cheaply, then they're in the game. And again, in T20, it's very doable. They're going to need to bowl very, very vigilantly, I think, early doors. And then we can see where the game goes from there. But I'm almost hoping that that happens because, well, 2 reasons. The first reason is because I want to see a competitive match for once this whole tour because we haven't really seen it. And secondly, I think I actually said that India will win this series 3-2 and England are 2-1 up. So I kind of need India to win this game. And I think actually I would like them to win just so that they can actually, one, level the series, and two, we can have the fifth T20 be for something, because otherwise it's going to be a dead rubber, which is not what you want in a series. You want a close series, and it won't be if England win this, because going into that fifth T20, if they win this and they're 3-1 up, they're going to be saying, you know what, don't worry about it. We're just going to put out a slightly weaker team. I think they'll want to win it, but there won't be that kind of emphasis or importance on that game, unfortunately, which would be a shame. So let's see. But yeah, looking at the top scorers and the top performers, Shreyas Iyer with that 37, Rishabh Pant with 30 as well. And after that, not really too much apart from obviously the biggest performer for India, which is Surya Kumar. So let's see. Charles says England should plan to play the game as deep as possible. India will struggle on the death to defend, so keep wickets in hand would be my mantra. Charles, though, the thing is, right, is that this England team even doesn't really play like that, I don't think. And especially Jason Roy and Josh Butler are explosive. So Jason Roy especially, which sounds strange to say, but Jason Roy especially won't look to bat deep. As in, when I say not look to bat deep, as in they'll both look to really take the attack to the bowlers, and they're not going to look to go at the type of run rate that India did in the first power play. I think one of their strengths is the power play hitting, and it's funny because looking at the highlights, right, Rohit Sharma hit that six. He hit that six off Adil Rashid, the first ball of the innings, for six, and you're just thinking they're going to set the tone. Well, that shot is going to set the tone for the whole innings. And there are a couple of really good first shots. Obviously, Kumar and Shreyas Iyer with his fantastic cover drive. But unfortunately, India, after that six off Adil Rashid, which really should have catapulted India into a very kind of aggressive and positive mindset for the rest of that first power play. Unfortunately, it didn't do that. And I guess maybe the fact that they lost Rohit Sharma early didn't help. KL Rahul is still a bit out of sorts. I think he went for 13 or 14. But the biggest highlight, which they're showing now, is Sky or Surya Kumar with an unbelievable knock. I mean, that first shot to go for six, pulling over fine leg, was an unbelievable shot for the first shot in his international career. What a way to get started. And yeah, he just looked really good, looked really sharp, and I think looked fearless, I think. And it's funny because someone in our chat, our cricket chat, said that, Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar are fearless players. And I guess someone like KL Rahul, he looks like he's playing with fear. KRL can probably take a step back and maybe look at them and say, I need to play like that a little bit. Because at the moment, he's not playing in that fearless way. And it's the issue that he's having is he's not scoring runs. So if he's going to continue in that vein, he should probably think to himself, well, I'm trying to play a bit more conservative. I'm not getting runs. Then I may as well play fearlessly. And what's the worst that can happen? You don't get runs. Well, you haven't been getting runs anyway. And if he goes back into that fearless kind of shell, then that will help him because that's really his natural game anyway. So we'll see. I think a lot rides potentially on how he does in the next T20. And I know that obviously the IPL is going to be pretty vital for India's selection as well. I would assume because it's the T20 World Cup is going to be in India, so the conditions are going to be very similar, and they're just showing Kohli's dismissal. Adil Rashid, he has this thing about getting Kohli out. I don't know what it is. Kohli just seems to struggle. I think we know he has a slight weakness about with spinners, right? He has a slight weakness to spinners. Does Virat Kohli, and Adil Rashid getting with an absolute cracking delivery, unbelievable, googly, just to see him with the flight and the revs on the ball, just chucks it up there, backed himself, and Kohli. It was a bit uncharacteristic, I thought, from Kohli, kind of charging down the ground, and it was almost an out of control shot, which you don't normally see too much from him. Charles says that India has a problem mixing good T20 players with good ODI players. That's why they are inconsistent. Yeah, I think nowadays you need to really differentiate the two in a way because you have people that are just going to play T20s nowadays, and some people that will just play ODIs and so on and so forth. Some will be able to play 2 formats or even 3 formats, but not everyone, I think, is the issue. Well, I think the problem is that you have people pigeonholing someone as a white ball player, but you forget that there's 2 formats in white ball, so you've got to be careful with that as well. Young Lamppost says, I reckon India is 20 runs short here with the heavy dew and a wicket. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think yourself, Achal, and myself were all in agreement really that India are about 20 runs short. The wicket looks pretty good to bat on, and given that it seems a lot easier to chase because of the heavy dew and just I think the pitch getting slightly flatter and easier to bat on a worn pitch, that actually England are in the driving seat here. But a couple of early wickets and you never know, so let's hope for that, and hopefully we get a competitive run chase here and not one that England run away with like they did in the third T20. Just having a look at Joss Buttler, 11 50s from his 78 games. Strike rate of 140, which is obviously very good. And Charles says here, KL, Darwin, Bouvier, and even Rohit are excellent ODI players, but they aren't the best T20 picks, to be honest. Still, they find a direct spot in the team banking on the other format performances. Ooh, Rohit Sharma's a very good T20 player, isn't he? KL Rahul, to be fair, Joe, KL Rahul, he averages 50 odd in T20s, and he was at one point the best T20 player. He's been in the top 3 for quite some time. Darwin and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I 100% agree with. I don't know if they're necessarily T20 players, but Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, I don't agree with. I think KL Rahul and hold on one second. KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma are fantastic. Let's have a look though. Yeah, so he averages 40 in T20s as KL Rahul, strike rate 143. So that's in T20 internationals. So that's damn good, to be fair. Slightly less in T20s. Rohit Sharma, let's have a look. T20 internationals, he averages 32. Okay, so not as good as KL Rahul. Strike rate of 138. Again, that's still good though, 32. So he actually averages more in T20 internationals, slightly more than in T20. So yeah, I would stick to what I was saying. I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I think because I'll get to Young Lamppost comments, but I'll just get up his stats while we talk about it because it's an interesting one. Oh, okay, interesting. What's his economy though? Bowling. Here we go. Okay, fine. Young Lamppost says, "How is Boovy not an amazing uh, T20 player? That's a ridiculous statement. Like myself, he was a world class bowler before his injury. Um, by all statistical margins, he's as important as Bumrah," says Young Lamppost at a trial. Okay, interesting. Let's have a look at his bowling averages then. So I guess given the stats, you probably have to agree. So having a look at it, his economy is only seven, just above seven in T20 international. So that's very good. Strike rate of 23, average of 27. So that's good. That's good to be fair. I mean, he doesn't take a whole lot of wickets. He's 42 wickets from 46 matches, but he's economical from the looks of it. So I guess it's what you like, and I guess Bumrah is probably in there as a more wicket-taking option. And Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I guess, is a good foil to be tight. Young Lampo says that KL Rahul and Rohit are some of the best 20 openers in the world. That's just a ridiculous statement. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma are, and I think the stats back it up as well. Because also when you look at Rohit's 32, considering how many T20s internationals he's played, is really, really good. Yeah, 32 is good. It's good. I wouldn't say it's phenomenal because Kohli obviously has played almost as many, I think, if not more. And the average is over 50. So I think that is really, really good. And that's great. I think Rohit Sharma's got good, and I don't think, I personally think that Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul are, yeah, two of the best T20 openers in the world. Like, I'm happy to admit that. Very good opening over, by the way, from Bhuvneshwar Kumar, a maiden, and that's a very good start, by the way, because they will want that. They'll want to do exactly what England did to them, but even more so in the sense that they would want to have England kept quiet in the first power play, which has been an issue India have really had throughout this whole series, is not being able to score quickly off the first power play. England haven't had so much of an issue in the first power play, but this is a good start. And actually, they're going to go with Hardik Pandya to open up with Bhuvneshwar Kumar. So that's a very interesting choice. Shardul Thakur, I think, has looked better at the death than opening. That might be why they might want to use him in the middle and then to the death overs as well, Shardul Thakur, rather than at the top. So Hardik Pandya is here now, and Butler just timing that into the leg side, flicking off his legs while he shimmies across to cover his stumps. And yeah, first run there of the innings for them. Yeah, Hardik Pandya again. I mean, looking at his stats, but he's an all-rounder. You're not going to expect him to be taking loads and loads of wickets. We know that he can have that star quality that's needed in a team potentially. Jan Lampo says average isn't a good stat to look at. Most data analysts will look through other metrics. You need to look at how many games Rohit's played. Think he's played the most games of anyone bar maybe Kohli. Yeah, so I was comparing him to Kohli. So if you compare it to Kohli, then it's not fantastic. It's not incredible, right? Kohli's got an incredible record. I think can be average can definitely be blurred when you have someone, for example, that they end up they end up finishing an innings, because the red inker and the not out definitely helps your average, and that's why someone like MS Dhoni, which again, like, obviously phenomenal player, but that's why his averages were so high in ODI and T20s. Like, he got a lot of not outs, and that's because he finished games. He got a lot of 20 not outs, 30 not outs, and yeah, he was very good at what he did. But that's the reason why his average as well was so high. Young Lampo says Kohli hasn't a 50 average because he's not out a lot more. Yeah, exactly. But Rohit is more destructive. Yeah, 100%. I agree. Rohit is more destructive. Yeah, no issue with that. And Charles says these players aren't showing the same T20 mentality that others like Pant, Kishan, and Hardik do. Obviously, they have performed wonderfully for Indian T20s over the years. Take nothing away from that. Okay, interesting. Well, I agree with the Darwin statement, I think, and KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma are interesting ones, I think, in the sense that, yeah, I mean, they've done very well over the past few years. I mean, KL Rahul's always been in that top three. But Bhuvneshwar Kumar is very, very miserly. I don't think he's. I wouldn't necessarily say he's got the X factor in the T20s. I think, and when I do think about him, I think of him more as a Test and ODI player. But his stats suggest that he's miserly and he does a job there, which I think is it's very useful in T20s. It depends on your makeup of the team and what you want in your team. And if he's in there to contain, then he's doing his job. It's 2 for naught of 1.4 overs. Charles says, you want to find the best T20 players in the world rather than the best players in the world playing T20. Interesting. Young Lampo says, you need those players as well. Looking at power play hitting to pair with slower burners. And Rahul is an explosive player. His role only changed due to Punjab's need. Yeah. Young Lamppost says you have to look at IPL stats over T20 internationals more reliable. Oh, don't get started on this, Young Lamppost. Don't get started on this. No, I'm not going to look at IPL stats because they're not reliable. Because it's not comparable when you look at the World Cup, which is where people will be judged. But the one thing I would say, which I'm happy to concede on this year, is that because this year is in India, I think the IPL will have more of a bearing because the conditions are going to be the same. But for example, next year in Australia, like if you play well in the IPL, that literally means not very much to me. Going into the T20 World Cup in Australia, personally, this year I think it definitely does. Personally, you need those players as well. Looking at but you have to look at what he says. Dan Weston, Quick Viz, Jared Kimber, almost every data analyst agrees the IPL is best in T20 internationals. That's up to them, but I don't agree whatsoever. Data analysts might, but a lot of pundits do not. And I don't agree with it. I definitely don't. I don't think I ever will. Young Lamppost, every single one pretty much says it. Yeah, but the issue that I have, right, Young Lamppost, is that, like, again, you can have a good IPL, but how does that translate into playing well in the T20 World Cup in Australia? It literally doesn't translate whatsoever. So why would that have any impact? Like, it doesn't. And that's why, for example, certain franchises, some people play better in the IPL than they might in the BBL, or some people might play better in the BBL than the IPL, or they might have played it better in, I don't know, any of these other franchises in England, etc., because conditions are different. Yeah, T20 cricket, the conditions don't have as much of a factor as ODIs and T20s, as a Jason Roy flicks Bhuvneshwar Kumar just behind square, very good shot, good timing, not overhitting it. But yeah, so that's what I mean. This just looks very different. It's very, very different. It almost always translates better to T20 internationals than T20 internationals to IPL. It almost always translates better to. I don't, what do you mean? Young Lampo says, look at the Wisden article on it for one. Okay. I agree with your statement per se, but the data from IPL isn't reliable. That's your performance in Indian conditions only rather than around the grip. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you. PSL isn't comparable to BBL, IPL. Well, they're all franchises, aren't they? So of course they're comparable. And he says BBL isn't comparable to IPL. Again, like, why not? It's not international stuff. They're all franchises. Franchises are comparable. It's just like domestic stuff is all comparable. Just like all international stuff is comparable. Oh, that's a fantastic shot. Really good shot from Jason Roy, just swinging Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Well, it's Butler, actually, sorry, over square leg for 6. A very, very good shot. This is turning out to be a pretty expensive over. Again, Young Lamppost, like, depending on, like, I can tell that you think the IPL is the best, which is fine. What I'm saying is that you can still compare the IPL to the BPL and the PSL because they're all franchises. And again, like, that's your opinion saying that the quality is better. And I've even said that I think the quality of players in the IPL is better at the moment. But yeah, I think you can look at the competitiveness of the leagues and, that's a really good shot again from Josh Butler, absolutely dispatching from Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but actually doesn't run away. It stops in the surface, doesn't have enough legs. One says the only argument there is about conditions, quality-wise, in terms of teams. Yeah, but conditions is a huge part of the game. It's like saying I average 50 in the indoor nets, but on a strip which is like artificial, and then you go out to a strip and it's completely different. Like it's like that's why it doesn't translate to me. Like it just doesn't translate whatsoever to different conditions. Like people forget. Like that's why you don't have people performing in every single condition, and people struggle for that. And that's a big wicket. Josh Butler leading edge, straight up in the air, straight to cover. And Bhuvneshwar Kumar, although he's got hit in this over, doesn't matter because he picks up a really vital wicket on the informed Josh Butler. So really big wicket. And yeah, that argument is. And in terms of quality wise, like England versus India, this is a lot better quality in the IPL. A lot better quality. Like you talk about the players on show, they're a lot better. You've got the best players in the IPL playing, right? Pretty much. And then other players who are just as like Darren Milan is the number one T20 international player. And he's what playing in the IPL this year, but he hasn't in the past. Okay. So what? So if he doesn't perform in the IPL, then he's not the number one player in the world because why? Because he didn't perform in the IPL? No, like that's what. But he performs in every other condition apart from in India, right? So again, like it's just that's why I say like you've got to take with a pinch of salt. And he says here domestic franchise competitions aren't comparable in terms of quality, the money in the BBL and the PSL, but money isn't everything, young Lamppost. And that's what I mean, and that's why I feel like it's so it's just so commercially driven. Just crazy. It's just crazy. Like it's just so commercial. Like because it's got money, it means that it's just yeah. Maybe it's not just me; it's the numbers though. What numbers? What numbers? And the conditions argument isn't strong. The IPL players almost do better across conditions than international going to T20. And says Darren Milan isn't the best T20 player. He won't start for Punjab based on the last year and a half years, and the stats back it up. Like I don't understand. If he doesn't start from Punjab, then that's up to them. But that will be because he doesn't perform particularly well in India. But okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this in a very fair way. India is not the only country in the world that you play cricket in. Like people, like you got to understand that, young Lamppost. India, right? Yeah, at the moment it is the biggest cricketing nation in the world. I 100% agree with it. 100%. Like it's just a fact. But it's not the only country that you play cricket in. Like it's just not. It's not the only country you play cricket in whatsoever. So I think you got to look at it that way as well. Like go and playing, having a good IPL. You come to England and the ball's swinging more, and the pitches are not as flat. It doesn't mean you're going to get runs. Like it's just simple as that. So I just think you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. I think, and that's what I take the franchise as. Charles says, I would like on the point. I would like the point. I would like to point out the England football team with Gerrard, Lampard, Terry, Rooney, etc. England football team was crap. International sports trumps domestic leagues. Yeah, yeah, it does. Of course, it does. I mean, if you ask a player, what would you rather win, the World Cup or the Champions League, they say World Cup. You ask any player, what would you rather win, the IPL or the T20 World Cup? They say the T20 World Cup. Young Lampard says he's not the number one player rankings. He's not the number one player. Rankings don't mean shit. According to rankings, Southee is the best pace bowler. No team cares about an IPL. Yeah, but okay. Again, I'm going to say this. The IPL is not the gospel of cricket, though, young Lamppost. Just because the franchises don't want to pick up Tim Southee doesn't mean he's not a very good player. It doesn't mean that he's not the best player. Just because they don't think he might perform well in those certain conditions. But again, World Cups are not played all the time in India. So again, that's why they might think that he doesn't play particularly well in India, but he plays well in everywhere else. He'll play really well in the Australian T20 World Cup next year. I'll tell you that. But yeah, there's certain what's the word? I think there's definitely some type of recency bias, and also franchises, definitely looking at players as better than others, not based on much statistical backup as well. Like Carl Jameson, for example, he went for an incredible amount. Why did he go for that much? He's done literally nothing in T20 internationals. I'll be very surprised if he performs really well for RCB. If he does, fair enough. And I think eventually he will become a very good T20 player. But he got slapped around in the recent Australia series, and he probably won't get into the New Zealand series. But he will start for RCB. So what does that say? That's my thing. He won't start for New Zealand when they've got Lockie Ferguson back. He won't even be in the side. He won't be in the side, but he'll be in the RCB side. And again, his stats are not fantastic. He says, "Mate, Mumbai Indians would blitz both these teams." Oh my god, no, they wouldn't. Stop it. No, they wouldn't. Mumbai Indians would not blitz both these teams. We've already gone through the list that you said. They would not blitz both these teams. It's just incredible. It's a ridiculous statement to say. Do you want to say England and India would get destroyed? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. They would not get destroyed by Mumbai Indians. Oh my god. If I was a betting man, I would say Pakistan would beat Mumbai Indians and pretty comfortably as well. And I've seen the team, and like you said it to me before, I think they'd beat them. Mate, I'm misappropriating what I'm saying. As India is the only important country, that's what I'm saying. The IPL is the high standard. That's no comment on importance, most money, best overseas. It's the highest standard of franchise cricket. That's my point. And Roy just slashes that away, and it's over. They're getting a bit fortunate here, England, and they're still off to a pretty slow start. Roy's only I think he's now 14 or 15 players, biggest talent pool. Yeah, interesting. More money means more talent scouting, more data analytics means better team structure. Oh, okay. Of course, everyone would not choose IPL over T20 World Cup. I'm making an issue about quality, not importance. Yeah, the quality of this T20, I think, is much better than any other franchise. It's not an emotional argument; it's a data-driven one. Yeah, but data isn't everything. Stats is not everything, and I think I've pointed that out by talking about MS Dhoni, for example, or Kohli, and talking about the averages. You even pointed out yourself about the not outs. It doesn't mean everything. And performing well in the IPL, I think, is not an indicator of performing well in T20 internationals, and it's not an indicator that you're the best player in the world. Because how many players have done well in the IPL, and then they've always gone on to do well in international tournaments? I think is what you got to look at, and a lot have, but some haven't. So that's my point. I actually went to send you some analysis on it. Yeah, feel free to. Hold on. My Instagram is below. You can see it there, qualityshot.f. Feel free to, or just email me. It should be, it'll be on the channel in my about page. 28 for 1 or 4 overs. Let me just update the scorecard. Thank you everyone for joining as well. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help. Thank you very much. You're all legends. Really appreciate it. Young Lampard says Jameson went for money because I think you mean RTB need a specific role where they lack a certain type of player in a fourth auction where there's not many players. Yeah, but they paid so much for him. That's my point. So they need a specific role, but they picked a player who won't even get into the New Zealand side. That's my point. My point is that they picked someone who won't even get into the New Zealand side. So then why didn't they pick the best New Zealand player for that role? Right? That's my point. I think, yeah. Because data is everything, lad. No, it's not. Data's not everything. No, it's not. It's definitely not. Data's not everything. And young Lampers, do you play cricket? Because if you play cricket, you know stats are not everything. Stats doesn't mean averages. Data is far more complex. Stats are very complicated. Doesn't mean everything boils down to bowling and batting averages. I will send over the analysis on it. I'll have a look at it. And then we can discuss it further. Because I've had time to look at it as well. But yeah, I'm happy to have a look at it. So send it over by email or to my Instagram, and I'll pick it up and have a look at it. No problem. We can discuss it next time for sure. 28 for 1 or 4.1 overs, and Hardwick's bowled well, and so is So has Bhuvneshwar Kumar, to be honest with you. Dal Milan, and obviously he's under a bit of pressure. Talking of Dal Milan, batted really well in England, Australia, South Africa. In India, though, he hasn't actually ever toured India before, so he's been struggling so far. A couple of 2, 3, 20-odd scores, but at a slow rate. Let's see. Young one says they pay that much because they have that much money anyway. It doesn't matter. The money is relative to what's available. But I understand the auctions to know why they go for money is complicated. My point is, Young Lampard, that he's not a good T20 player, so he shouldn't have been picked up anyway. As in, like, I don't even think he should be in the top side. That's my point. He hasn't done anything to prove it. He's performed well on Test matches and ODIs, not T20s, and like, I've seen him. Right, I've seen him in every single T20 he's played so far, and he hasn't impressed. He will eventually become a very good T20 player, but he's still new to it, and he doesn't have quite the variations and just the ability yet honed in quite just yet. Anyway, Charles says, "Young Lampos, you seem to be inspired by Moneyball, but I like your passion." Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's data analytics and stuff. I think is definitely coming into the game more so, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I think it's good. I don't think it's the be all and end all, but I think it's good. And yeah, I'll have a look at the analysis, Young Lampos, send it over, and yeah, we can discuss it further. I don't mind at all. It'd be nice to have a look at. Hardik Pandya bowling really well. England are definitely getting tied down here, and this 186 is not looking like a terrible score so far. I'll tell you that. Some very good bowling. It's slower ball stuff into the ground from Hardik Pandya here. Cutters utilising the pitch. That's a 90 km/h ball, so very, very slow. It's a 30 for 1 or 4.4 overs, and India have done a very good job of keeping them quiet. Young Lampard says he's got the raw materials and they gambled on it. He's not playing that many T20s yet, but they had to go for something big to try challenge this year. Yeah, but having the raw materials means nothing, though. Yeah. Yeah, raw materials doesn't mean too much, though. I mean, it's raw, as you said. It's not honed in, so... Oh, hold on. Oh, that's a good effort. Was that a good effort? I think he probably should have taken that. Shardul Thakur. And he's telling him, Hardik Pandya, how he should have taken it. Interesting. He's not a very good fielder, is he? Thakur. He's saying it's too high. He's not a good fielder at all. And Lam says, what is data, though? Data is just a complicated way of describing what's happened. It's become the alien concept. But to say data isn't accurate is like saying what's happened hasn't happened. No, I think... What I'm trying to say is that data can be interpreted in different ways. Of course, data is data. For example, someone's average is someone's average, or someone, for I don't know, whatever, Kohli's average is 200, like chasing in India, chasing scores in India, for example, and that's just the data. Like, it's a fact. But then, if you take the context of it, I think so. There needs to be context. And then it's also how you interpret it as well. And then also comparing it, and then also looking at it. For example, the IPL, do they take into account how flat the pitches are? Do they take into account the quality of bowling? Do they take into account, stuff like that, for example, the makeup of a team, all these things. And that's why I said, like, you can send over the analysis, I can have a look at it. And then we can talk about it, because the thing is, you've had a look at it, and I can tell you're drip feeding that analysis to me. But it's just better if I look at it and we can discuss it properly, because we'll be on a level playing field to discuss. Young Lampo says there's variables you can't account for, but with enough money, which the game has, and time, those factors become minimal. But conditions is a big variable. I don't think it's minimal whatsoever. But again, we'll see. It's 31 for 1 off 5 overs. Really, really good stuff from India here. I think they've just been they've just done a very good job of just keeping them quiet, especially... I think especially Jason Roy as well, because he's looked pretty good, I think, throughout the series, apart from the last T20. Come back into some type of form, which you wouldn't normally expect, especially in India. But yeah, let's see. Achar says, I have a friend who did his doctorate in data analytics and sports science from a university in Zurich. He is working with some of the top American football and ice hockey teams in US and Canada. Nice, that's cool. Impressive. Nampo says that yes, they always take into account the things they're talking about. Okay. These guys are professionals. Yeah, I'll send it over. Let's have a look. And Lampo says, yeah, I think I should just send it. Yeah, please do. And then I'll let you know once I've had a read of it. When you next come on to a live, I'll let you know once I've had a look at it, and we can discuss. Why not? In fact, if I have a read of it and I think it's interesting enough, I might even just set up a live just to talk about the findings of it and kind of drawing different conclusions and yeah, have a debate on it. Maybe even why not? If it's interesting enough. 31 for 1 of 5.1 overs, Roy 17 off 18, and Milan 4 of 7. And Washington Sundar's on it, and we know that he's very effective in the T20s because he just bowls pretty much wicket to wicket, pretty quick through the air for the most part as well, and not a huge amount of turn, pretty much darts, but he's very accurate with his stuff. And it's funny because he's the reason why Ashwin's not in the team, right? And it's interesting because a lot of people I asked about, do you think Ashwin will ever come back into the India side? And everyone said, actually, no, don't think so, because you have people like Washington Sundar or, Chahal or whoever else, basically, right, to come in, and we don't really need him in the side. And I think he said recently that he'd like to come back in. So let's see whether, I'm assuming again for him, the IPL will have quite a big influence on whether he does, because that's the only T20 cricket Indian players will be playing after this series. And Jason Roy just slog sweeps Washington Sundar expertly over backward square leg, really, really good shot, just controlled it, and goes over, plants his feet, just flicks it over, very good shot, very controlled from Jason Roy. And he looks in a pretty good mood, but again, he's been pretty quiet. Washington Sundar won't be too unhappy with that because it's only 4 of the over so far. And what's interesting, Jason Roy to Washington Sundar, 2 innings, 2 outs, only 9 runs. So clearly he's struggled with Sundar. That's shorter, and Jason Roy backs away and just pulls that down to cow corner. And I think we've got, so that's not too bad. 7 off the over, so this could become a pretty decent over for England if they can get another boundary from this one. Charles says, what Young is saying isn't wrong, but we're still a good 10-15 years away from the NFL and MLB standards of data mining. I'm sure as more money gets involved in the game, cricket will be data-driven. Yeah, no, I don't have an issue with data-driven. It was more the conclusions, what the analysis was trying to say I didn't agree with, I think, about the international stuff. But yeah, that's a fantastic shot from Jason Roy, by the way. Just picking up Washington Sundar, that's in the slot. It's a half volley, and he just swings through the line, 6 runs, over, long off, very good. But yeah, 100%. I mean, the sport of cricket. And that's why it's interesting, because we saw England use... Who was it against, actually? Against Australia, wasn't it? Where they had the signals, which was supposed to be like live data analytics that they were using, like tactics and strategies to say, like, oh, this is what works against this person, or these are the matchups that you should be looking for when this person comes out to bat, and the different scenarios. So that was quite interesting. Last over's gone for 17 runs, by the way, so that's a big over. That's a very, very big over for England. And Washington Sundar, who's normally very, very miserly, has gone. And again, Jason Roy, this time slashing through the offside, through extra cover. Not always the prettiest to look at, Jason Roy, but he's been effective this series so far. He's now 33 of 22, starting to pick up the pace. And that's almost what the Indian batsmen struggled to do at the start, was pick up the pace, especially KL Rahul, for example. They were going a bit slower, just as England have been, but they struggled to then pick up the pace. But Jason Roy has now started to do so. He's going to have to continue to do so. And Dawid Malan is going to have to do the same. He's notoriously quite slow in the first 10 balls, I think it is. And after that, his first 20 balls, his strike rate is 110. And after those first 20 balls, He strikes at 190. So let's see if he can get to that point firstly, and then he needs to be careful not to get out. Because it's a pretty risky game to play. You've got to really back yourself to the hills. Guys, as well, thank you very much for joining. I really do appreciate it. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help. Thank you, all legends, and that's a good shot from down Milan, but you only get 2 for that. Just rocking onto the back foot and punching it through the point region and picks up 2. Just having a look at the replays of the power play so far. 48 for 1 is actually pretty slow from England standards as well, to be fair, and not fantastic. So let's. Oh, interesting. I really want Darren Milan to do well because I think he's a very good player, but he's not quite adapted his skills yet to these conditions, and I think that's been the biggest player here in terms of him underperforming. He's got 2 more innings, obviously this one and also the next one. But let's see. Charles says international cricket will be on a decline, especially in comparison with franchise cricket in terms of quality as well. Mumbai Indians currently records all games at 1 KD and has a backroom team working on DA. Yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen though, Charles. I think inevitably, I don't know whether international cricket will decline, but I think franchise cricket is improving. That's a fantastic shot though from Dal Milan, hitting through the line there. I think the only reason why that's going to happen is if players prioritize, like for example, the IPL or the whatever, BBL, PS or whatever else it might be, over international duty, which is kind of what we're seeing a little bit in, for example, the Pakistan South Africa tour coming up. Like Rabada and others are going to play in the IPL instead, and also in the England. I think India. In India, I think it's England India series, where some of the England players won't be playing at the start. Let's see. I hope it doesn't happen because international cricket is the pinnacle, right? I mean, yeah, Test cricket is the pinnacle as well. But let's see. I won't be surprised if we'll get to a point where people think T20 cricket is the best thing in the world, which would just be a nightmare, to be honest. T20 cricket is good. I enjoy it. But it just pales in comparison to Test cricket. It really does. I don't know. Even ODI cricket I love as well. I feel like ODI cricket is the hardest. I said this actually the other day, and I think it's true. But I'll say it because I think young Lampus didn't hear it, and I feel like ODI cricket is the hardest format to be highly skilled at nowadays, because I feel like you need a skill set from T20s and also Test cricket, and you need to have those combined into one format, which is ODIs nowadays. You need to be able to, for example, as a bowler, bowl very good line and length, stick, be disciplined, and then also bring in, for example, your change-ups and your death bowling like you would in T20s into ODIs, and that's kind of just now a given. Like it's seen as being like that's just what you need to succeed, right? So in a way, T20 has improved other formats for sure, and I'm happy about that. But in other ways, I don't want franchise cricket to get in the way of international cricket, which is starting to do, which is just frustrating, really. Because even though, for example, I watched the PSL and I really enjoy it, but if it had to go, I wouldn't care. Yeah, see. Charles says, if India legalizes the betting market, we are looking at another $100 billion a year industry closely associated with cricket. Game will be more money driven, sadly. Yeah, it's just a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. I didn't realize. So wait, so betting isn't legal in India? Is that true? I didn't know that. Is that because of all the like match fixing scandals that have happened in the past? Is that why? Because I thought, I mean, obviously in other countries, like for example, like Pakistan and stuff, it's not because, but that's just religious reasons. But I'm assuming in India it's not religious, is it? Is it? I don't think it is. As Rahul Chahar comes on, 2 matches, 1 wicket, so very inexperienced coming on. Let's see how he does. Leggy, I think, isn't he? Let's see how he performs coming in for Chahal. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't happen. I don't. It's depressing me. Let's go back. Oh, so it's T20 over Korea. So we're talking about your franchise stuff. Economy of 7.34, average of 22, 65 wickets from 56 matches. So that's good. It's a very good record. So let's see how he can do here. And required run rate is now gone up to 10. The current is 8 from England. So they're going at an okay rate. They need to just keep wickets in hand as Roy pulls away and Achar. That it seems like they're almost doing what you suggested, which is taking the game deep potentially. Although I think Jason Roy doesn't want to hang about, but he's almost been tied down, I think. And that's a long hop for a first delivery from Chahar, and he gets away with it big time. Jason Roy can't believe that he's just pulled that straight to the man at cow corner for a single, and Jahar's just thinking, that's fine, I've got my man out there. That's why I've got him there. But yeah, very interesting. As I haven't seen much of Jahar, so let me know what he's like. I mean, I'm assuming Young Lamppost and Achar, you guys have seen him in the IPL. Do you guys rate him, and what's the kind of different variations he has in his locker? Again, that looks like a top spinner or just a leggy that hasn't turned very much for us at all. Just drifting onto Milan's legs, but he just flicks it through your mid-on region for a single. Charles says no because of the match fixing scandals. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I thought. That was why. I said no, it's not because of that. Administrators are of the opinion of legalizing it. It's been illegal since the very beginning, since Mahatma Gandhi was always against it back in the 40s. Oh, that's really good though, you know. Betting's, yeah, not a fan of betting, to be honest, but it's personal preference. That's very interesting. Thank you for that, Joel. I wouldn't be surprised if it's legalized soon in India then. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And Jason Roy, yeah. Let's see. Anyway, let's see. I'm hoping that somehow we can get international cricket to somehow just drive forward and create a bigger gap between franchise cricket and international cricket. Because I feel like there's a gap now, but I feel like it needs to widen because franchise cricket is vastly improving, which is fine. But then I think international cricket also needs to at the same time. Does that make sense? And yeah, let's see though. They're actually appealing for a stumping here. Milan trying to swing hard there. I think his foot's grounded. Yeah, it is. That will be given not out. I think he's okay. He's dragged his foot back, but it's behind the line as well. He'll be all good there. Really good stuff from Dad Milan. Decision pending. Should be not out, but let's see. We'll see. Hold on. No, his foot's there. His foot's fine. These reviews are very long, you know that. They're like longer than needed. You can see his foot's behind the line. It just breaks up the game so much. Come on. No need for this amount of faff. Have a look again. Yeah, he's fine. His foot's grounded. It's fine. Charles says we have semi-betting companies like Dream 11. Yeah, I've heard about Dream 11 and others which have turned unicorn within a year or two. It's inevitable that someone will monetize this massive underground market. Of course, yeah. Yep. It really saddens me, you know that. I don't know why. But yeah. Chahar, this time that'll be a wide, trying to just cannon into Milan's legs. I think he's really trying to make sure that he doesn't give Dal Milan any width, trying to cramp him for space, but ends up just drifting down the leg side there. He's bowling pretty much just similar speeds throughout this over. Is Rahul Chahar. Charles says, and that means this is out. And oh, that is a shocking shot. And what Rahul Chahar has been trying to do is basically exactly what just happened. Down Milan is obsessed with playing that reverse sweep shot for some reason. I don't know why, by the way. You're asking the wrong person because he does play it quite well, but when it's not working, you don't keep on going back to it. And he's just bowled a toppy here, and it's cannoned into his leg stump, and he's gone very offside of the ball and tried to reverse it. And Jahar picks up the wicket of Dawud Malan, and as Charles just said, bad shot selection. Yeah, it really is. It's just shocking shot to play. But anyways, Dawud Malan, this is going to be interesting, by the way, because there will be calls for Joe Root. If he doesn't perform the next T20, there'll be calls for someone like Joe Root to come to the side again. But they've got a lot of test matches to play, have England, so I don't think they're looking at him or Alex Hales. Alex Hales, I'm telling you now, Alex Hales is going to be knocking on the door, and he has batted at 3 before. He's probably better as an opener, but in T20 cricket, sometimes batting at 3, you're in pretty much straight away, as in any format, really, to be fair as well. Johnny Bairstow in with Jason Roy, who is the only batsman for England so far who's looked in pretty good nick, and I think this is going to be a pretty tight and close run chase. You know that? I think it's going to be tighter than I first thought. Dawud Malan not helping the cause with 14 off 17, but Rahul Chahar looks okay. Not a big turner of the ball, is he? He's more kind of deception with the overspin, I think, from what it looks like. Let's have a look. That one turned, to be fair. That one turned. A bit slower as well, 84 kilometers per hour, just really chucking up there. So about 10 kilometers slower than what he has been bowling. So that's clever bowling. He looks like someone who clearly has confidence, which is good. That's what you need as a spinner. I mean, look at Imran Tahir. I mean, he's got crazy confidence, doesn't he? Anyway, 60 for 2 off 8 overs. Charles says, he says, Alex Hales, if we're listening to this, throw away that joint, mate. ECB is calling. Yeah, flipping. Yeah. Maybe. I think the one thing that I would say is that Dawud Malan, if you're the I don't think he will be after this series, but I mean, he's the number 1 T20 player in the world rankings wise. We're talking about the last 2 years, so I don't think they'll drop him until. So I think the next T20 they'll give him one more game. He's playing in the IPL, which, as I said, I think this year is quite important. So England might look at him in the IPL as well and see does he perform there, because if he does, they'll be more happy because the conditions are so similar. Well, they're pretty much exactly the same, except for obviously the bowling and the pitches might be slightly different. But I mean, obviously, there's not any better practice you can get apart from playing internationals in India, which England are doing at the moment, than playing a franchise tournament in the same country. Is the second best. So they'll be looking at how well he does there as well. If he doesn't perform well, then I think he might be in trouble. But they've got some other T20s leading up to the World Cup. But I think Alex Hales will be in the squad. I do. I really do. The more I look at this, the more I think he will. And Jason Roy, look, that's a really good shot. Just going very leg side of the ball and almost just cutting that away in a very unorthodox fashion behind behind backward point even, before 13 or 25. And that's a very good start to go for England and for Jason Roy of Hardik Pandya, who, as a child said to me before, he's I think it's a bit harsh that he's half bowler, but he kind of is because he's all rounder. I'd call Ben Stokes as a sixth bowler and also half a bowler as well. Not happy with the fielding there, Pandya, but I don't think you can really blame the fielder. I think it's just a good shot in his poor bowling. He's bowled that short and wide, and it's just been punished as it should have been. It's a very good shot from Jason Roy. 39-25 for him. Hardik Pandya, that's much better. Just really back of a length, really. Oh, hold on. Really cramping Jason Roy for space, and he actually tries to pull it, but pulls it straight towards mid-on. So, yeah, 40 or 26 for him. You know what? Every time I watch the cricket, all I think is I just can't wait to go out there and play. That's all I want to do. Just go out and play, but we can't here in the UK yet. Things are opening up on the 29th, so in 11 days' time. But yeah, my cricket season will be starting in April. Fingers crossed. Pre-season games will be starting. Can't wait to go and have a net even just before even starting to play, to be honest with you. Go and work on some things that I've been wanting to work on for ages. So 40 or 26 and 65 for 2 off 8.2 overs. Hardik Pandya running in. All this time, short to hits Johnny Bairstow right on the butt. Don't want to get hit there, but you kind of do because that's the fleshy part, isn't it? That's the fleshy part. Getting hit on the butt is fine. Goes to pull that, and it's actually not sat up as he first envisaged, and it's cannon into his buttock, and he's all good. He's fine, I think. Well padded, that's for sure. People are loving the compression sleeves, aren't they? On this tour, obviously Ben Stokes is a long time subscriber to compression sleeves are us, and it seems like Hardik Pandya also joined him, and now we've got Rahul Chahar is also another one as well. Yeah, Hardik Pandya running in. Ooh, back of length again. That's better bowling. And Charles says that's what a lover of the game would say. Cricket is life. Yeah, I mean, I play tennis as well for my local club and also cricket. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to playing both actually. And I play a bit of football, but I don't know if I'll play that straight away because of the whole situation and can't really social distance and that's what either. Morgan in at 5 and Stokes at 6. I'd be surprised if we don't see both of them, to be honest, in this match. Bairstow's 1 off 3, and I have a feeling, could be wrong, that Bairstow's not going to get many runs, but I could be wrong. He's a lot better in the white ball stuff than he is red ball stuff, that's for sure. I think he's one of the best white ball players around. Would he be in the top 10 white ball players in the world? Maybe. On current, as in if you were to pick a team now. I don't know actually. I don't know if he would. Maybe top 15. Anyway, shorter from Hardik Pandya and Jason Roy pulls once again. Is this out? Yes, it is. That's a big wicket. That's a very big wicket. And someone's running with his hand up in the air. I think it's Surya Kumar. I think. And that's I tell you what, the plans worked. He's been bowling a bit shorter, back of a length, right? And Jason Roy, this one though was he brought back the length even more, really, really tight to the stumps, and very, very tight into Jason Roy. And Jason Roy goes to pull that, and it's not quite pullable. He probably needs to be going over the offside, so uppercutting that or getting across even more. Kind of offside of the ball and putting that. He doesn't really get into the right position and pulls it straight to the man at cow corner. And he has to go. Jason Roy, 40 off 27. Another good knock from him, but again, not being able to get 50. And as he hits his head against his bat in complete disdain for himself, he's probably thinking to himself, why can I not get past that 50 mark in this series? That's the third time that he's got 40 odd and not managed to convert that. Crack up. And Stokes is in. Also, Stokes in before Morgan. Stokes is in at 5. That's an interesting choice. Charles says, I had my local football game today, right this time. Thanks to the BCCI, we have a lockdown in my city. Well, at least you're on here, which is great, isn't it? Even better than football, Charles. I'm joking. But no, yeah, it's sad. I'm we're in lockdown as well. They're kind of relaxing stuff. But yeah, let's see. Red Fly 44 said, I just woke up and watched Sky innings highlights, and I think he looked really, really good. Yeah, he did. He looked fantastic. I thought he looked really good, Red Fly. He looked very good on debut. I mean, just as good as Ishan Kishan did on his debut, and I think that was a very, very impressive knock for sure. I was super impressed, really was. I thought, I mean, the first ball right to hit it for 6, I think definitely set the tone, and he just bowled really, really well. Batted really well even. Red Fly, what do you mean he just woke up? Where are you based, Red Fly? Are you in the US? Are you in? If you've just woken up, you must be in the US, right? Red Fly 444 must be in the US if you've just woken up. Let me know, Red Fly, where are you based? I'm assuming you're not in India or the UK. So I'd assume you're the US, because US, if you're in LA, then it's probably 9:30, probably. Let me know. And hold on. Oh, Sundar is back on after going for 17 his first over. He'll be hoping not to go for the same in this over. Red Fly says, I think it's a no-brainer at this point. Kishan and Sky must be in the lineup. I don't know why the BCCI can't realise this simple fact. Well, okay, so Red Flyer, if they need to both be in the team, then give me a lineup, right? And tell me, because the reason why I want to know your lineup is because I want to know who you take out. But yeah. Let's see. Red Fly says, "Yeah, I'm in the US. It's 11:30 a.m. Okay, so you must be New York time or something. I don't know. I had a long day yesterday, lol. How old are you, Red Flyer? You had a long day yesterday. Was it a long day partying? Charles says, what IPL has done is that there is no more the level up to international cricket. First Ishan, now Sky. It's like they don't care. I don't think it's necessarily. I think it is a level up. It is still a level up, but I think it's more the like they've because there is so much, right? There is so much fever around the IPL, and it's seen as like I mean, people like young Lamppost, for example, who earlier on was saying that he thinks the Mumbai Indians could beat India or England, which I don't think would ever happen. Anyways, there are people that think that, so that then rubs off on some of the players. Some of the players think, well, if we go up, it's going to be about the same level. So they come with that fearless nature, and their natural ability shines through. So I think that helps them in a way. I do think it's a step up. But I just think it's maybe not as much of a step up as it was potentially, and also there's that fearless nature in players when they performed well in the IPL under the pressure and whatever else it might be. So just thinking, well, we can take that pressure because there's a lot of pressure on people in the IPL, and we can do the same for India. So I think that's more what it is. People performing as well. That's what I would take it as anyway. Red Fly says, I'm 20 and no, I was not partying, love myself. Oh, good. Working hard then probably. So you must be at university then, Red Fly, no? Or college if you're 20. 69 for 3 off 9.4 overs. Washington Sundar bowling darts here. You can tell the difference between him and Chahar, who's bowling more kind of 85 to 95 range, and Washington Sundar's bowling more than 90 to 100 range, which is it makes a big difference. Oh, Washington Sundar just interesting stuff. A Charles says, I hate to say it, but Young was correct. Mumbai Indians could easily beat India and England combined. No, stop it, Charles. I've seen the Mumbai Indians side because he said it to me. Don't you start as well, Charles. Come on. Mumbai Indians are not beating. They're not beating India or England. Not even the combined 11s. They're not. Oh no, stop it. Stop it. No Fly says, I think. Oh, well, bold. This is good running here. They can get two, can they? Yes, they can. Well run, very well run. Red Fly says, I think either KL or Rohit should be dropped for Kishan. Ooh. And Sky has to bat at 3 for sure, and Kohli can bat at 4. Kohli can bat at 4. Or KL can move down the order, I don't know. That's a big call. I think if KL roll, I think Rohit Sharma is always going to be in there, if I'm being honest. KL roll, I mean, he's Rohit Sharma. And KL Rahul has been so good in T20s. I think if he doesn't get runs in the next match, then I think there's going to be question marks. What will happen though, because obviously the T20 World Cup is in India, IPL, as I've been saying, has got more importance, I think, this year because the conditions are very similar. So if he does well in the IPL, KL Rahul that is, then I think he'll be okay. He'll stay on the team. But if he doesn't, and as you're saying, someone like, say, Ishan Kishan performs better, then I think Ishan Kishan will be in the team instead. So we'll see. But yeah, Sky looked good as well, to be fair. Interesting. There's some players in and about the team, aren't there? So it's good. There's competition for places, which is what you like. Fly says, yeah, I'm trying to grind for med school. Wow. Congrats. Ooh, they're appealing here for run out. I think the throw was bad for Charles Talk. Let's have a look. While keeping up with all the cricket. Nice one. Very nice. Very nice. Let's have a look at this run out because I just looked away for a second and I missed it. I just saw the wickets. Oh, let's have a look. No, he's fine. He's fine. He's all good. Guys as well, thank you very much for joining. Please do remember to, right, come on, tell me. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Charles says, can I tell you why Mumbai Indians can beat India? Because India has to play Rohit or KL, but Mumbai Indians doesn't. Rohit could be dropped from Mumbai Indians starting them and nobody would complain. What, really? But Charles, isn't he their captain? So surely wouldn't they complain? Okay, but Charles, take it as the best players for each team playing. So if the best team from England play the best team from Mumbai Indians, England would win. Like, no shadow of a doubt. Like, I've seen the Mumbai Indian side. They would not beat England. They wouldn't beat India, that side either. No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm just not having it. I'm not having it. Sorry. Everyone's entitled to opinion, but I just no. I don't see it. I really don't. Because I've seen that team, and some of the players don't even get to the international side. So how are they going to beat? Oh, hold on. Oh, he's tried to dive forward there to catch that. That's an interesting one. So Stokes has just danced down the track, and he's hit Rahul Chahar into the leg side towards Cal corner. And I think it's Shreyas Iyer tries to run forward and dive forward to catch it, which, to be honest, at this level and in this time in the game, it's probably not a bad idea. He's taking a risk. He tries to dive forward, and he's not quite got there, but he's taking a risk and said, "No, I'm going to try and get there and catch it." And to be fair to him, he's just missed it. He's not been able to get there in time, so it's gone for four. But I thought it was worth the risk, to be honest with you. Red Fly said, to be fair, I also think Mumbai Indians would be India. Maybe not England, but it'll be close. Mumbai death bowling and power play bowling. Come on, Red Flyer. Not you two. Okay, guys, if this was in any other country but India, Mumbai Indians are getting stuffed. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right. I've seen their lineup. They're getting stuffed. So they might have a chance in India. I'm not saying they win, they'll have a chance. Any other country, they're not winning. They're not winning by a long shot. Any other country, they're not winning. New Zealand, Australia, England, South Africa, Pakistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, they're not good. It's different conditions. West Indies, no way. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. 1 for 10, Rahul Chahar. But yeah, look, look, you guys are entitled to opinions. So it's fine. Just not for me. 78 for 3. I think it's now 79 for 3, actually, off 11. Just having a look at that replay again of the attempted catch. He hasn't got there, right? He's done his best. He's really run forward. He's really tried his best, and he hasn't managed to get hands on it. But it's difficult. It's difficult. Red Fly says, bro, I think you're underestimating Mumbai Indians. Ishan and Sky are their worst batsmen. Yeah, but okay. That's all I'm going to say to you. Ishan Kishan and Sky, right? They do look good. They've had one good innings, though, right? For India so far. So, yes, so far so good. But Ishan Kishan didn't look good in the last match. So he's had one good match, one bad match. Sky's look very good. Fair enough. But again, it's not enough of a sample size. And you forget Red Flower as well. They're playing in India. Makes a difference. I trust it absolutely, but the management is a problem, isn't it? India is literally at least a decade behind other T20 franchises simply in their approach towards the game. Which, can I say something? Isn't that crazy? Because I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound really harsh, but the IPL is supposed to be something that's supposed to improve Indian cricket, right? And in the shorter formats. And in some ways it has. But how can your T20 side be behind like you're saying, Achal, when the IPL is the biggest franchise format in the world? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Then it's not doing its job, then, is it? Red Fly says true. Kishan and Sky need to prove themselves, but they both look super talented. They do look super talented, 100%. But I think it's too early. I think, but look, they look like talents. A good example: Haider Ali looked really good on his debut against England. Scored a 50. He's like 19 years old. Scored 52. I think it's very similar to Ishan Kishan's actually, and he's a lot younger. He's Haider Ali, but then he hasn't scored much since. He looked pretty good in the PSL recently, but again, is that going to translate to then him playing well in South Africa in away conditions? Let's see. And I think that's what I'm interested in seeing is really someone playing for a year in different conditions and performing well. And if they do, then you can say fine, but not many do. Ooh. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Cricket's an interesting game, and everyone's entitled to opinion, and everyone's got different views on it, and I can see why. I just think, right. Maybe it's just me, and I'm an old fart, even though I'm not that super old. As Stokes tries to lash that into the leg side, but it's only going to be one. I think there's so much hype around the franchise, and not just IPL, but others as well. But sometimes it clouds people's judgments as to the kind of quality or level that's being on the show, um, and the pitches that are being played on. Like realistically, right? Let's level in the IPL, and even some other franchises. But I think I can say the IPL because I've seen the scores and stuff. The pitches are quite flat, right? But then, to be fair, this year in the T20 World Cup, they'll probably be similar. So I think the IPL had quite a good bearing. But next year, for example, when it's in Australia, I don't think it's going to have much bearing at all. The pitches are not going to be flat like that, and they'll play very differently. But I guess let's see. I could be sitting here in January 2023 with hopefully 1 million subscribers. Thank you everyone for subscribing. Please do subscribe and like the videos. Thank you very much, and share them. But yeah, see you with 1 million subscribers in January 2023. I could be completely wrong. You're right, I could be. Let's see. Reflighters, in my opinion, Sky looked much better than Ishan, even though they scored the same amount of runs. What do you think? Ooh. That's an interesting one, you know that. I'd say yes, actually. The reason why I would say that is because I think he looks better on the eyes, doesn't he? Ishan Kishan looks like pure power, whereas like Sky looks more like he looks like a type of player that can play other formats. Does that make sense? Like I feel like if you put him into a test side, he might actually be able to score runs. I haven't seen enough of him, but just some of the shots he was playing were very like textbook shots, with a bit of flair. But it wasn't super unorthodox, and it wasn't like some players when they play T20s, they will just swing across the line, and it doesn't matter because the bats are big enough, your hands are quick enough. You get like Jason Roy, for example. He's a very good T20 player, very good white ball player. In Test matches, he tried to play for England, didn't work. Oh, Stokes pulls that away. That's a huge six, absolutely huge six. Wow, pulled that away. It's too short, and just absolutely punishes that. And England need to start going at this rate. Washington Sundar. It was a good over until then, so we're disappointed to get hit for six on the last ball. That's so frustrating, probably for him as a bowler. Red Fly says, "Good thing Rashid got Kohli's wicket because he had a terrible match otherwise." Yeah, I mean, he got hit for six in the first ball. To be fair, though, Red Fly, the one thing I'd say, I think you need to bear this in mind, is that Adil Rashid is one of the best white ball bowlers in the world. I think him and Adam Zampa are probably the best spinners. But he's just a wicket-taking option, and he seems for some reason have Kohli's number. He's got Kohli out quite a number of times, and especially he's got him out with that googly quite a few times as well. But he's a very, very, very good bowler, and in some cases very underrated. He is their main weapon. I mean, him and Archer, and it's widely regarded here in the UK, like on Sky, everyone knows Rashid and Archer are your two best bowlers and two best wicket-taking options for England in the T20s, anyways. So that's who they rely on. But yeah, I mean, he didn't, by his standards, it wasn't a very, very good display of bowling. I think he'll be the first one to admit that. But the wicket was a big one, so I think England will take it. They'll take it. Charles says because franchises are run by professional managers with degrees from Harvard and Stanford, and BCCI is run by goons with degrees in applied criminology. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, then they need to sort out the structure, don't they? Then there needs to be a serious overhaul in structure, surely. Surely there does. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's frustrating, you know that. It's frustrating. I don't know. Anyway. Red Fly says, Stokes, my boy, please get out. Yeah, Red Fly, I think Stokes is like the best thing ever, I think, don't you? You love Stokes, don't you, Red Fly? Big match player, to be fair. Refly says, I feel like Rashid getting Kohli out is a mental thing more than anything. Red Fly, you know what? You got a point, and I'll tell you why. Because cricket is about 90% mental, I'd say. Talking to most professionals, most cricketers I've talked to, they've said between 70 to 90% is mental. I think the fact that Rashid has got Kohli out a few times, it's got into Kohli's head, and he says obviously Kohli is more than capable of taking him on, but he has it in the back of his head, so he keeps getting out, and that's why you have bowlers or batsmen, whatever way round it might be, that are bunnies of each other because mentally they've broken them. And I feel like Rashid got that level with Kohli. And that's not to say I think Rashid can get anyone out. I genuinely do, like he's that good. But yeah, I think the other thing as well they have to take into account is that I think Kohli has a slight weakness to spin, which has been well documented. But it's not, again, I'd say it's a slight weakness because like we're talking about someone who is just incredibly strong in all areas, and then it's a slight weakness that okay, you can maybe exploit it a little bit when he's having an off day. But I think Lador Rashid is definitely mentally slightly broken him. I think in the sense that he's bought a couple of absolute jaffers to Kohli, which Kohli is just like I can't play that. And then now Kohli's probably thinking in the back of his head, I need to take him on to gain back some kind of momentum against him. And he tried to do that today, didn't he? And he got out. So interesting to see how it develops, especially if India play England in the T20 World Cup. I'd be very interested to see if that, because that's a matchup, as a Stokes tries to go big down the ground, and he does go big, and that's 6 runs. That's a big one off Rahul Chahar, and the 100 is up for England, and they're now starting to motor here, and they need to. Cryptic says, Assalamu alaikum Fazam, wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much, Cryptic, for joining. Red Fly says Stokes is the best all-rounder ever and ever will exist. So I'm assuming Red Flyer, or I'm assuming Red Flyer is like a Stokes fanboy. Do you have a poster of Stokes in your bedroom, Red Flyer? I bet you do, don't you? Don't you? Red Flyer says I don't think Rashid is that good. At least no. Red Flyer, he's a beast. I've seen him for years for England because I live here in the UK, and he's an absolute beast. Absolute beast. He's not just okay. He's their best white ball player for a number of years. Very very good player. Seriously, like don't underestimate this guy. I'm not just saying it. Like backs it up. He's widely regarded as one of their best, probably their best white ball spinner ever. I think as a leg spinner, right, you have to remember, Red Fly, that leg spinners are not normally economical. They're not normally economical. They're there to take wickets, and that's why you have someone on the other side like Moyne or whoever else it might be to be more economical. But that's not his job, is to take wickets, and that's what he does. Charles says BCCI is a nexus of big businesses and politicians. Our current Prime Minister used to manage Gujarat cricket. Must be a humble guy. Why not state football / badminton? Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, who knows? Who knows? It's just crazy, isn't it? It shouldn't be political. Sports. It's sports. It shouldn't be political whatsoever, but it is. Sad. Oh, so sad. Let's see. It's 100 and so they're doing what's this, drinks break, isn't it? At the 13th over. 100 for 3. Let's see how the rest of this goes. Oh, come on, Washington. Oh, that's a big shot. Is that a big shot or is it out? Let's have a look. No, just falling short there. No run. Well, no boundary even. Reply says, actually, I think if Jadeja's batting had been backed earlier, and they kept confidence and sent him in earlier. He could have been much better than Stokes, but he's not so. Stokes is the best player ever. What I'm getting here is that um, what I'm getting here is that Red Flyer loves an all-rounder, and he loves a lefty batsman who's an all-rounder, basically. And that's what I'm getting here. That's what I'm getting here. I need to pop away for a couple of minutes. In fact, what I'm going to do. Let's have a look. Reflect says, Washington not having a good game. Good thing it's his last over. True. Charles says, game on for England. India still needs to get 3 overs off the 3. Still must say impressive Kohli's captaincy today. Yeah, agree. My 2 favourite players are Jadeja and Stokes, so you're correct. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Knew it. Knew it. Oh, that's a big one, is it? Is it? Yes, it is another 6. Really, really big hit from Johnny Bairstow and England are motoring. Guys, well in the chat, thank you very much for joining. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Thank you very much. Really, really does help so much. And so far, England are looking pretty. Well, they're looking pretty good, aren't they? They're looking pretty good. 77 meter 6, and India were tying them down for a period, but we'll come back with absolute. It's come back greatly, to be honest with you. Really, really good. Okay, guys, I've got a question. I need to go for about maximum 5 minutes. Maximum 5 minutes. So do I leave you guys on the stream for 5 minutes, or do I end the stream and start a new one? I need your advice. So please let me know. Let me know. Unfortunately, I cannot get anyone else to join me. Why? Okay, I'm going to leave the stream. I'm going to start a new one for the end of the match, okay? I'm going to start a new one for the end of the match. So stay tuned. I'll keep on. Okay, I'll keep on. That's one. I'll keep it on. Okay, I'm back. What have I missed? Oh no, what have I missed? Sorry, I had to take an urgent work call. Um, what have I missed? Oh no, have I missed a lot? Oh no. Well, here we go. Dial says, Fazan, I think it's been a long time waiting for Stokes 50 to come in a T20 format. Yeah, it has been. It hasn't scored a single T20, by the way. For anyone that doesn't know, in the T20 format, Stokes has finally picked up his 50. That is a fantastic knock from him. Really, really impressive as well. And it's been a long time coming. I think is what Dial's saying. It really has been. It really has been a long time coming for sure. Let me just update. I put England instead of England. Classic. Absolute classic. And subscribe instead of subscribe. What's up with the typos, eh? I trust as you came a wicket fell. Oh no. Oh yeah, they did. Besto. So Stokes is 41 or 20. Dial is saying, I think it's a long time waiting. Dial, you triggered me. I thought Stokes got to his 50 as an advert. So I was like, well played, Stokes, well played. He hasn't even got there yet. 41 or 20. It looks like he may get it. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. It'd be nice to see him get a 50, wouldn't it? I mean, Red Fly's he's probably so conflicted right now. He's like, I really want Stokes. I think Red Fly for you, the ideal scenario is if Stokes gets like 70, 80 or not out, but India win the game. That's probably the ideal scenario, isn't it? I'd assume. It's like me, you know. Like I really like Moeen Ali, for example. So when he plays against Pakistan, I want Pakistan to win. But like if Moeen Ali can get 100 and Pakistan can win, then I've won. You know what I mean? I've won the lottery. A child says UK wicket fell. Red Fly says get the next guy out quickly. India on top. Yes, I agree with you. Do I? Yes. No, actually, I don't. I don't agree. There's 5 overs left. Was it 54 needed? So just under 11. They've still got Sam Curran, Archer can bat in T20s. Jordan can, Rashid can, Wood can't. I still back England. If they pick up another wicket, it's difficult. If they pick up Stokes, then it's going to be difficult. Although Morgan is very good in this format. Guys, well, please do remember to like this video. It really does help. Please do remember to subscribe. It really does help as well. You're absolutely all legends. Please do share the videos and also the channel if you think anyone will be interested. Red Fly, all your college mates, anyone interested in cricket, I expect to see whatever college you're at. I'm assuming there's like thousands of people, but I'm assuming not many people like cricket that much in the US. So I'll expect maybe like 100 new subscribers today because of your college. So thank you very much. I expect you to put flyers out with quality shot in your college, right? Although can you because of COVID? Either way, you'll make it work. Come on, you'll make it work. I'm just joking. Red Flies at med school, and I'm telling you to put flyers for my channel. Get everyone else and let Stokes keep getting singles, lol. Yeah, very good. Red Fly says it's because all the bowlers left are amazing death bowlers. Very tough to hit 10 and over against Booby and Takor. Yeah, Takor's a good death bowler, isn't he? That's why they left him to the end, which is interesting. But he seems to have a good range of death bowling skills for sure. Good Yorkers and good slow balls and cutters, etc. Has a good off cutter as well, actually. And he's a natural away swing bowler. So it's an interesting player he is. Charles says very intelligent bowling from Chahar. He saw Bairstow jumping out. He drops it short of stumped. Yeah. And that's why I think as a spinner, like cricket IQ is really key. I mean, it's key for any player, but I think especially for a spinner because you don't have that pace on the ball that can get you out of trouble at times. You need to really have that intelligence to know what the batsman's doing. And he seems to have a little bit of that, doesn't he? Bhuvneshwar Kumar, that's a bit wider. Morgan just slashes out that, but straight to deep backward point. Only a single. And Stokes is batting really well here, 41 or 20. Really, the only chance I think, has he batted? Did he bat in any of the other 3 T20s? I think he batted in one, maybe didn't bat that well. I know he didn't bat last match. And England chased another one. I don't even know if he batted in that one either. I think Morgan did, or he came really late. Anyway, he's batting well here, 41 or 20. And Morgan 4 of 3 is 51 needed from 28. Target's 186. So it's still in the balance, and I think we could actually, for once. You know, I'm going to say this very, very quietly, just in case I jinx it. We could get a competitive match for the first time this series. And Stokes, oh mate, what a shot! What a shot! Just pulls that away towards the cow corner boundary, spits the fielders, and it just crashes into the boundary. And his timing and power is just exemplary, isn't it? And Red Flyer is probably thinking to himself, like, I'm loving seeing this hitting from Stokes, but I want him to win. So, yeah. Basically, Red Fly wants a Headingley, but where Stokes doesn't get the winning runs. That's what he wants. And Charles says England 55% to India 45%. My current odds, yeah. I think England 60, India 40, I'd say. Bhunesh Kumar. Oh, actually, by the way, where is the WinViz? They haven't had this in this series. They had it in the PSL recently. I don't think they've had it in this series, but I think that's because the graphics are all from the BCCI, aren't they? That would be why. And I think WinViz is like a Sky thing, I think, and other different, you know, other different ways of doing it as well. I think it's not. I don't think BCCI. Obviously, they don't employ WinViz. Maybe I don't know, man. Oh, that's it. Dial says England 99.9%. No, sorry, 99.99% is Dial. So Dial is backing England to the hill here, I think, which is an interesting one. You know, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be closer than that, but we'll see. We will see. Rashad Kumar goes for it. That's a good Yorker, but unfortunately, it's down the leg side. That's unfortunate, and it's wide. 140 for 4 here, or 15.5 overs, and England look to pace this innings quite well, but they need to really keep wickets intact here now. I think Stokes and Morgan will be looking to see them home. Let's see. Charles says that was a forehand smash, cricket or tennis. It was, but it doesn't matter. Like nowadays, it literally doesn't matter, does it, Charles? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. A forehand smash is like a normal shot now. Ooh, I think that's just. Well, that's good fielding by Bhunesh Kumar, but a dot ball, which is very, very crucial at this point. Dial says this England side bats till number 11. Yeah, it's true because Jordan, Rashid, Archer, they can all bat, man. They can all bat. Wood is the only one that can't, so they can bat up to number 10. I think Mark Wood is really the only one that cannot bat. And I mean, look, it's different though. In a pressure situation, obviously they're not incredible batsmen, but they can bat. And Dial says maybe a super over will be exciting. You know what, Dial? We might get the first competitive match between these two sides for the whole series. On fingers crossed, it looks like we're getting it so far. I've been pretty excited to see a competitive match, and finally, it looks like we might get one. So, yeah, unless something crazy happens in the next couple of overs, I think this is going to be a competitive match, and it has been so far. So, I thought when India didn't get above 190, I thought it might be difficult, but they've done a pretty good job, I think, to take it deep for sure. Charles says, I can certainly say the game will tide one way or another every single ball. Do you think so? That's interesting. That's good, though. That's good. You think it's that competitive? I don't think as much as that, personally, but I can see why you would say that. Stokes is 46 of 22, 140 for 4 off 16 overs, Morgan 4 of 5. So Rohit Sharma is directing the field. That's interesting. Obviously, the vice captain. Yeah, Takor's he's bowling at the death, so it's difficult. But 2 overs 21. This is where he's going to have to come into his own because he's going to have to put in a couple of really good overs here at the end. It's a good slow ball. Stokes, I think, picks it. Does he pick out the fielder? Yes, he does. That's a big, big wicket. And Dayal, Stokes's wait for a 50 will have to continue. Oh no, that's a big wicket. That's a big, big, big wicket. That is. Stokes gone and didn't quite pick up that slow ball here from Thakur. I think it is Yeah, well, I don't think he's just. I don't even know if it's slow ball. He just hasn't got all of it. He really hasn't. Ah, that's disappointing. And while Red Fly sheds a tear, he'll also be happy because India that definitely puts them back in the game. That's a big, big wicket as Sam Curran runs out, and Sam Curran and Owen Morgan both new to the crease. Stokes has to go. Very good knock, 200 strike rate, 46 or 23. Just cannot seem to get a 50. It seems to really be eluding it, and it seems to be very elusive for him, for sure. And it's a really bizarre one, to be honest with you, because he's such a good player. You'd expect him to have like 10 50s and T20s at least, but just not to be today once again. A very good knock though, and it's funny because what Stokes just got out for, 46 or 23, is exactly what England need to win the game. 46 off 23 is the equation for England to win, and it's exactly what Ben Stokes just got out for. 46 off 23. Now, can Morgan and Curran, they're going to have to go at 12 and over here for the remaining three overs and 5 balls. It's going to be difficult. I'll tell you that now. Charles has Takor has 2 left and Hardik and Booby 1 each. Do you see Booby bowling the 20th or India? Is that behind that? It has to throw the kitchen sink ASAP. No, I don't think so. Oh, that's out as well. Oh, what is Sam? What is it's Owen Morgan actually? Owen Morgan at times, right? Sometimes I do think like you've just lost the wicket and he's gone to hit that up in the air towards the longest part of the boundary, towards the cover boundary, and he's out. And that's back-to-back wickets, and we're on a hat trick. And I'll tell you what, I think it's 60-40 in favour of India. Um, they don't have to throw the kitchen sink. No, they don't. They could now. They might go in for the kill because, I'll tell you what, they're looking strong. Oh, Red Fly says, no, Stokes, I wanted 50, but he cares more about India winning than his 50, so respect. You wish, man. You wish, Red Fly, you wish. That's a funny one. No, like, I rate that. I rate that. Charles says, I would go to Core is better than Boovy. Sorry, to Core then Boovy, then to Core then Hardik. Hardik punted for the last over. Interesting. Boy, that's a huge wicket, Owen Morgan. And Owen Morgan, that is a really, really, really poor shot. He'll be really disappointed with himself. And I'll tell you what, if England go on to lose this game, he's going to have to look at himself because he is a quality player. And that is just a really poor shot. I mean, he's not got his eye in yet, and he tries to go really big to the extra cover boundary, which is one of the biggest boundaries in a stadium. That's just poor. Sam Curran and Jordan both on naught, and it's a hat trick ball for Decor. He's absolutely steaming in. You can tell he wants it. I think it's actually a slow ball. Oh man, crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's 100 km/h slow ball from Shardul Thakur. Yeah, so he bowled an off cutter to Morgan and got hit straight to the man who was extra cover, ran round and ended up being more of a wide mid off, and it's just a really bad shot, I think. Charles says, "Oh my God, told you so! Didn't I? Game will change every ball." It seems like it, doesn't it? It does. It seems like it's going to be right. And Bairstow and Moeen Ali look on, and Moeen Ali's probably thinking, "Why the hell am I not in the side, man?" Because everyone keeps on getting stuffed. Charles says, "Now to core Hardik, to core and then Boovy." Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, let's see, let's see. Guys in the chat as well, please do remember to like this video. Really does help, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Really does help. Oh, Jordan, though, is that gone for 4? Oh, what a shot! What a shot from Chris Jordan. An absolute beauty. No foot movement whatsoever. It doesn't matter because he's pretty much, as Charles said previously, he's forehand smashed that through the kind of cover region. Just flat battered it through that cover region for 4, and it's really good timing. It really is. It's kind of like it is like a forehand smash through the cover region. 4 runs and much needed runs as well because they need to go at a very quick rate here. They still need quite a few runs, right? They need 41 off 3 and a bit overs. It's going to be tough for England, I'll tell you that now. With 2 new batsmen in, it's going to be very, very tough. Well, very, very good slow ball from Charles Darko. They're very good slow ball. I like his cutters actually. His off cutters are really good, and it's obviously a good variation to his normal outswinger. So I like that a lot actually. I'm quite impressed by his death bowling. I have to say, I didn't really think he was much of a 2020 bowler, if I'm being honest with you. After seeing him in the first game, I was thinking doesn't really look great, but he's proved me wrong. He's proved me wrong. He looks good. He looks very, very good. I have to say. Um, he looks impressive for sure. Oh, interesting. What was that? A dead ball. Dead ball. One ball left in the over. This has been an absolutely cracking over for India. And Dayal, when he said it was 99.9% in favour of England, it definitely isn't anymore because Shardul Thakur is absolutely. He's dragged India back into this game. Oh my god. Charles says, to be honest, both the wicket balls were hit me. Stokes and Morgan managed to make a mess of it. You know what, Charles, though? The Stokes one was because it was like a normal pace delivery. The one to Morgan was an off cutter. And he didn't pick it. So it's actually good bowling. It's like Dwayne Bravo when he bowls an off cutter to, oh my god. Oh, when he bowls an off cutter to he bowls an off cutter right in the slot, and it doesn't matter because you just see the batsman. That's what Charles Darko did. But yeah, so I thought that was a good delivery actually to Morgan, and he put it out a bit wider. And Morgan likes that bit of width, and he'll just swing through the line, and his eye wasn't in, so he just baited him really. 147 for six off 17 over. Charles says, oh, a WTF was that? What was what? What was what? Dayal says, Fazan, do you know that whenever Gambhir praises any opposition cricketer, he goes out of form? Yeah, I've heard about this. It's hilarious. He praised Butler, didn't he? And then obviously Butler. Yeah, I've heard about this. Whenever he praises someone, they always go out of form. There's this like superstition. And I heard about it, Dayal. It's quite funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's actually really hilarious. I think that's so funny. I find that really funny actually. Um, yeah. I wonder who's going to say next, right? I wonder who's going to say next. Who's he going to say? Gautam Gambhir is a funny character, a very good player back in the day. I'm not sure how good a pundit he is, but he was a very good player. He was a very good player, very underrated player actually as well. Did very well for Indian World Cups as well, didn't he? Gautam Gambhir. He did very well for them actually. Lefty as well. Solid player. Solid player. 147 for six off 17 overs. England, this is a tough ask, you know. They need 39 off 3 overs. Stokes looks like he's about to beat someone up. So they need 13 and over. And Stokes is looking forward to getting in the locker room, I think, and smashing it up. And that's what he'd normally do. So all that's hit away, though, from Sam Curran and straight to the fielder. That will only be one. Very good bowling. I say very good bowling. It wasn't really. It should have got punished. Oh, hold on. Is overthrow hit? Is this a run out opportunity? No, it's not. Chris Jordan's funny. You know, Chris Jordan doesn't. He doesn't run in his bat. He doesn't run in his bat. He just runs with his bat up. If you notice, he doesn't ground his bat. I've seen it a couple of times actually today, and I've just realised I was like, what's going on? And he doesn't run his bat in. It's really bizarre. Very, very bizarre. A bad overthrow there from India, and I'll say it could be costly, but I don't think it will be. I think it's 60-40 India, and it would mean the series will go 2-2. Let's see. I'm kind of hoping in a way it does because I want to see a decider. Um, I want the fifth T20 to be a deciding game rather than a dead rubber. But let's see. 37 off 17 here, and Hardik Pandya doing well. Achal Shah says, if I was England coach, I would send the 12th man with a bottle of water and tell them to play intelligent. Oh, very good bowling from Hardik Pandya, very good slow ball, but they run a single, so it's a bye there. Field is open, 12 and over means 2 runs a ball. Plenty of empty spaces, use your cricket IQ. Yeah, that's true. Although, to be fair, Achal, Jordan's very experienced. He's England's highest ever wicket taker in T20s, and and Sam Curran obviously has played enough T20 stuff. So I think they both know. By the way, does anyone explain to me? Do you guys see it as well, where they do the zoom in of the trophy? I keep on mentioning this, but it really bugs me. It's so funny. Like they just zoom into the trophy, like PayTM trophy. Like, oh, look at this. I'm like, it's just a trophy, and then it's got like graphics around it, and I'm like, okay, well, like, what am I supposed to be wowed by this trophy? I'm like, it's just a trophy. But yeah, no, I get what you mean, Achal. Like 100%. Like they definitely need to really be intelligent about the way they go about this. Now, it can't just be swinging to the hills, as Jordan does exactly what I said not to do. And I think, oh, he's got lucky. It's just dropped short. He's tried to swing at that as hard as he can. He manages to get two. It's fortunate. Does fortune favour the brave? In this case, it does. It's a 34 or 15 needed. And England they're struggling here to really get bat on ball, and what Charles saying is right, because when you're struggling at this point and when you just come in, sometimes it's just best to hit the gaps and hit twos and threes and even singles at times. That's what you need to do, right? You gotta do it. You gotta do it. But yeah. Anyway, just looking at the boundaries. The boundaries are small, aren't they? I think they brought the boundaries in a little bit. I'd like to see boundaries out all the way to test boundaries in T20s. That's what I would be doing. If I was head of the ICC, which I'm not, and all the committees, I'd be like, T20 boundaries should be all the way out, and then it brings back a little bit into the bowlers, and batsmen really have to earn their sixes, because top edging bowlers for six over the keeper's head is just crazy. It'd probably still happen anyway, but looking at the Indian paces at the death of this series, 58% of those deliveries have been slower balls. So that's 42% normal kind of your quicker pacer deliveries or pacier deliveries even. Another cutter that time from Hardik Pandya, and Chris Jordan just inside edges it onto himself. Looking a bit silly. 33 needed off 14. This is becoming really difficult. And that's a wide. That should be a wide. It's down the leg side. Let's see who's he going to give it. He should give it. Or does he not? Oh, that's a wide, That's down the leg side. Anything down the leg side should be given as a wide. And they haven't given it, which is bizarre. Let's have a look. It's not a no ball or what? It's not a no ball, but it's a wide down leg side for me. Let's have a look. Normal seam delivery. Actually, no, it's not. It's not. He just missed it, Sam Curran. Achal says, select the correct ball to hit. I'd be shouting on the top of my voice. Yeah, true. Got calculated aggression. I love using that phrase. I made that myself. I know I probably heard it somewhere, but I just like using it. Ben Stokes looks very disappointed with himself, and so he should, because he was in ridiculous form, wasn't he? Looked the most comfortable out of all the batsmen, even Jason Roy. Now it's looking damn hard for England, and he's got cleaned up, Sam Curran. Oh dear, tries to swing, and this is what I mean. This is what you know what I'm going to sound like such an absolute moron, but I'm going to say it. Didn't Sam Curran look amazing in the IPL? He's looked pretty average in this series. He looks very average, and I know he looked amazing with the bat and ball in the IPL. He's not looked very good for me this series, and he hasn't really looked amazing for England in T20s, and that's the gap, I think, between franchise cricket and international cricket. 153 for 7 off 18 overs, and Sam Curran just swinging blindly, really. Disappointing stuff from England here, but good sign. We've got a competitive match here, and this is going to be a good end, I think, hopefully. As long as England don't just completely collapse, which is possible. With Archer coming in, Archer will just swing, by the way, just warning you. Again, Archer had a fantastic IPL with a bat, but he can't seem to bat for England. That's what I'm going to say. All I'm going to say, I'm just going to leave it there, put a pin in it, throw it away. 153 for 7 off 18 overs, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar on. They need 33 off the last 2 overs. It's going to be hard. They need a couple of sixes. I'm just going to say it. They're going to need it. They're going to need it. Because the players on show at the moment in Archer and Jordan don't have that type of batting ability needed to be able to hit gaps for fours. So they're going to have to just try and back their power now, I think. Not every ball, but again, still be selective. But if the ball's in the slot, you've got to swing through the line. Let's have a look. That's in the slot. Oh, he has swung through the line, but it's a slight inside edge there, and it's only a single. Charles says, I've been at such situations. You need to manage your adrenaline rush. 13 balls remaining in the game. Take it deep. You'll connect a few. Don't just swing everything like you're catching a fly. Yeah, exactly. Anything in the slot, you've got to swing out. Anything short and wide, swing out. And then, like, Sam Curran swung at a good length delivery, which is on the stumps, is just poor. It's a cutter as well. And, no. I think Sam Curran will be a really, really good player for England. He's still very young. I think he's 22, I want to say. I actually watched him when he was 17 play for Surrey. He's 22. So 5 years ago, me and Venu, who supports Surrey, we watched this 17-year-old Sam Curran opening the bowling for Surrey in the domestic longer format stuff, and also like the one-day stuff as well. Watched him, and we just thought this kid's going to be amazing. He's going to be playing for England soon. Well, no, we said one day he's going to play for England. He did. He got called up a few years later, and we were like, "Oh, look at us! You know what we're talking about, don't we?" But he's never quite. I don't know. I thought he'd get a lot quicker, and for me, he hasn't. That's a wide. I think that's a wide it is. He tries to bowl a leg cutter there from Vishal Kumar. The right idea, just a bit too wide. Yeah, he's never quite done it for me. He's had good performances in the test stuff. Like he's batted quite well at times. Even ODI is the same. T20s. His bowling is good. I mean, he's obviously got that natural left arm variation. Oh, hold on. Archer tries to go big. Has he got all of that? Has he? No, he hasn't. He's gone into the gap. They'll run two, I think. They should run two. Have they? Yes, they have. They're on two. Good running. Yeah, his pace is. I thought he would be bowling like late 80s, Sam Curran, because when he first broke onto the scene as a 17-year-old, he was bowling late 70s, touching 80. Now he bowls maybe late 70s to early 80s, but doesn't really touch 80s, 87 miles per hour, which is all right. Well, again, another leg cutter. Charles says, front in the hand leg cutter, something we don't see often nowadays. Yeah, true. Quite old school, isn't it? It's effective, though. Well, that's interesting. Darwin's on. Why is Kohli off the field? Is he injured? Did I miss something? Is that why Rohit Sharma is like basically directing everyone because he's the captain on field at the moment and Darwin's on as a substitution? But why is Kohli off the field? Is he injured, or is he just having a breather or something? Anyway, 28 off 8 balls. Is it because of the recent stats? By the way, Kohli's dropped the most number of catches by any player in the last 3 years. By the way, I saw this stat. That's so surprising because I thought he was a very good fielder anyway. Like historically, he's been a very good fielder. Anyway, 27 or 7 needed. This looks like it's going to be India's game. And Dayal, where's Dayal? Where's Dayal? I don't know. Where are you? 99.9% England's match. Charles says, "Are we starting the Rohit or Kohli captainship debate again?" No, I'm not. I'm just asking why Kohli's off the field. To be honest with you, is it just because he dropped a catch in the last match and he's like, I don't really feel like fielding at the moment? Chuck on Darwin, or I thought maybe he's injured or something. Anyway, Kumar running in wide of the wicket this time. Archer slashes to the offside. That will be 4 runs and much needed runs. 23 is needed off the last over. Still makes it very hard, but it's a lot more doable. It's 163 for 7. So 10 off that over, they're going to need to, they're going to need to get more than double in the last over. They're going to need some sixes. Let's see what they can do. I've seen Archer practicing his power hitting in the England warm-up session, so let's see if it pays off. And Chris Jordan as well. Let's see. But Dayal, your prediction of 99.9% England, I think, is gone out the window big time. And that's why I said I think it was more 60-40 England. And now it's definitely not. Shardul Thakur is going to bowl the last over. You kind of want him to bowl some juicy half volleys, don't you? You want to see like 2 6s the first ball, the first 2 balls, and they need 11 off the last 5, and then it's like this could be interesting. That's all. 11 off the last 4, even. Then I'm interested. Charles says 23 needed from the last over. Can England get the 2016 redemption? I don't think so. Personally, we'll see. They need to, they need to Carlos Brathwaite this right now. Charles says, if you remember, West Indies needed 23 from 6 in the T20 World Cup finals. Of course, I remember. How can you forget? 4 6s in a row from Carlos Brathwaite. Remember the name, Carlos Brathwaite, and then he's gone to do absolutely nothing. Anyway, running in and we hasn't absolutely nothing. It's a bit harsh, but hasn't done as much as I think people thought. Disappointing. Jordan just inside edges that for a single. And it's 164 for 7 off 19.1 overs. There's 5 balls remaining. And Stokes biting his nails in frustration. And rightly so, because he's just thinking to himself, why did I do that? I could have just seen them home so easily. But I threw away my wicket when I was looking so good. And so he should. Shame on you. Shame on you. Archer 7 off 4, then 22 of the last 5. This is going to be damn hard. I don't think they're going to do this, to be honest with you, but you never know. I think this is India's match lose 99.9% India as Archer goes big, and I think that's actually 6 runs. Is that 6? That's a big one, and it's in the slot. Is it 6? I think it is. No, it's 4. It's 4 runs. Good shot down the ground by Jofra Archer. Needs a lot more of those. Charles Archer 66. Jofra Archer, remember the name? No, that's definitely not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening. It could do, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. So they need 2 6s and a 4 of the last 4 balls. 2 6s and a 4 will do it. Yeah. What am I talking about? No, not 2 6s and a 4. They need 3 6s or 2 6s and a 4 and a 2. Interesting. What's going on? Oh, why are they changing the ball? There's 4 balls left. What is this? Come on. Oh, Kohli does look injured, doesn't he? Looks like he's like spraining his ankle or something. Yeah, so they can do. Let's have a look. They can do 3 4s and a 6. We'll do it as well. 3 4s and a 6. We'll do it. Basically, need a boundary in the next ball. If they don't get it, it's over. Baby, it's over. 18 off 4. Come on, Takor. Give us a nice, juicy, meaningful toss. Archer goes, slaps that. I think that's going to be 6, you know. It is 6. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, Archer. He just, that is like the worst, the ugliest shot you ever see. It doesn't matter. He just pulls it into the cow corner for 6. Archer looks up for this. He absolutely rocks on the front foot as well. And it's a baseball shot for 6. That's a classic tail ender shot. Doesn't matter though. 6 runs are 6 runs. Just absolutely pings that back 82 meters. That's 6 in any stadium as well. What a shot! And Rohit Sharma is he's not happy. If they lose, do you think Rohit Sharma will get the blame because he's the on-field captain? Is that why Kohli's walked off? No, I'm joking. 174 for 7 of 19.3 overs, and they're having a nice chat. Hardik Pandya's going, "Come on, what are you doing? You're bowling rubbish here." The Charlotte Duck going. Rohit Sharma's like, "Oh, come on, relax, guys." And Ajal goes, "Holy s, yes we can. Come on, England." Why are you supporting England? I want actually, you know what I want to happen? I want England to hit another, on Archer to hit another 6, and 6 or 3 needed, and then India somehow defend it. So we go into the third T20 and England win that. But I predicted India to win 3-2 in the T20 series, so then maybe I want India to win both. Do I though? Do Do I deeply want that to happen? Probably not. 174 for 7 and 12 needed with the last 3 balls. Come on. Boundaries needed. Boundaries needed. But it's possible. Yeah, actually, I want that, actually. Yeah. A chance I want a super over. Yeah, so what? They need 11. So we probably need a 6, a 4, and a single. We'll do it. So I reckon we can get that. Can't we? I reckon a 6 and a 4 and then maybe a single. It's doable. Come on, Archer's like I'm the man. 4 and 6. He's like, if I can do that again, we're in the game. Shardul Thakur, I reckon he's gonna bowl. An off cutter, wide, right and full. What do you think? I think he's gonna bowl an off cutter, wide and full. Let's have a look. Because I don't think he's gonna want to bowl anything short. Let's see. Here we go. Dark bowls. Oh, what's that? It's a wide. Even more chance of a super over. And Rohit Sharma's got his hands on his hips, and he's not impressed. Charles has 6 and smiling emojis. Yes, I'm going to say smiling emojis. That is a wide. It's too high. He tries to go for a slow ball bouncer, which is very ambitious. He just needs to chuck it wide outside off stump, Yorker length. He should be able to do that. It's good. Come on, let's see. Or his coin connects. That's another wide. Oh my god, he's no. Oh no. No. He tries to go for the wide Yorker, gets it completely wrong. He is let's just say he's pooing himself right now. Is Shardul Thakur. He really is. Thakur is absolutely pooing himself right now. And you can see the nerves have gone. And this could be a shocking over. I'm telling you now, he could give the game away here now. It looks like he's lost his nerve. Let's see. That's going to be tough now. He's thinking to himself, what am I supposed to bowl? I've just bowled 2 wide. I've tried 2 different deliveries and they've been wides. So I'm assuming he's going to try and go Yorker, but it could be a full toss. Let's see. Oh my god, he breaks his bat. Oh, what the hell? That again, he tries to go wide. Oh no. He breaks his bat. Jofra Archer hits the toe and his bat, and he's annoyed with himself because he should have cashed in there as well. And it's 9 off 2 needed. So I think that rules out a super over. No, 2 fours. 2 fours is a super over. What am I talking about? 2 fours and a super over. He hits the toe. Jofra Archer, man, he just needs to get across that and then just cart that into the offside. That's short and wide. He should be getting across and cutting the hell out of that ball. But it's a bit harsh for me to expect that, to be honest with you. Jordan's on strike. He can't hit the ball as cleanly as Archer. He's actually. I'd back him to get more runs than Archer, but in terms of hitting ability, I think Archer's got more. What he needs to do, Jordan, is just swing as hard as he can. Hope for an outside edge that goes for 4. That's what I'd be looking at. Come on, Jordan. Charles says 1, 6 and a 4 needed. Yeah, so now they need 9 off 2. Do England, and this could be a cracker. Come on. This time he goes. Oh, the stretch of the fielder. Yes, it is. Oh man. Hits a toe of the bat trying to go big. 9 off 1 needed. India won this match. Oh my. Unless Shardul Thakur bowls us like 4 wides in an over. Come on, 4 more wides, please. 4 wides in a 4. Come on. Yeah, exactly. A chance is 1, 4, and 5 wides. Let's be honest, Shardul can do it. Yeah. Even 4 wides and a 4 gives us a super over. Come on. Achal, you're going to be wrong. I remember you said 4-1 to England. I said 3-2 to India. It's going to be 2-2. I'm going to be closer, Charles. Said to you, I told you, all of you. In fact, all the Indian fans on this channel, all the Indian subscribers were saying, I think everyone was saying like, oh, I think Red Fly said 4-1 as well. Who else? I don't think anyone said 4-1 England, yeah. So no one backed India from India. It was crazy. Yeah. Dot ball. Oh, what a disappointment. But it was good though. It was a good match. It was a much more competitive match. Can't complain. And it's 2-2 in the series. Very, very good display from India. I have to say, very impressive. Super impressive. It really was. I have to say from India. England, in my opinion, probably threw away a little bit. But what I would say is that India have won by 8 runs. Very, very impressive stuff from India, especially the death bowling at the end, apart from the wides, but that happens with nerves at times. I've been impressed, actually. I didn't think it was a defendable total, if I'm honest with you. But it was. And they win by 8 runs. At least we got a competitive match. I'm not going to complain. Achal says 3-2 to England, 3-0 India. Oh, did you? Did you, Achal? Did you? Oh, you did actually. You did, I remember. So, okay. But I kind of want England to win, but I want England to win, so my prediction's right. And I've got, oh no, I think Ushjers from Cricket Cross 2.0 said, no, he said 3-2 England like me. 3-2 India, sorry, like me. Red Fly said 4-1 England. A few others did as well. Let's see. Anyway, India win by 8 runs. Very good performance, I have to say. Obviously, Surya Kumar will probably get man of the match, rightly so. Fantastic 50 from him as well. Absolute beast of an innings. It has to be said, like, he just performed unbelievably well. He really did. And Morgan's shaking hands. He'll be disappointed. He really underperformed in my estimation. I thought he could have done a lot better. Shardul Thakur nearly pooed himself at the end, but he just about got through it. And yeah, really, really disappointing stuff from Jofra Archer at the end. Just, I say disappointing. It wasn't disappointing. He actually got the game close. I think Stokes will be disappointed. He did really well, and yeah, Charles says England has to learn from this match. That 15th to 17th over, they were terrible. Brain fade, really. They really came undone by just 8 runs. Yeah. You know what really killed them was the 2 quick wickets. Stokes and then Morgan, the next ball, 2 wickets and 2 balls. It's just, that's not acceptable in T20 cricket, especially in a chase and deep into a chase. It just sets you back so much. Sam Curran as well was poor. Really bad shot. Really, really poor reading the situation. And oh, interesting. I don't think Morgan and Kohli get on. You know that. You can normally tell when players get on. And the reason I say that is because, like, for example, Kohli shook Morgan's hand. They shook each other's hand and they weren't looking at each other really. And then Kohli shook Bairstow's hand and they gave each other a little hug and stuff. Interesting. For some reason, I don't think Kohli gets on with Root or Morgan, but he gets on with Steve Smith, I know. I think he gets on Williamson. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Very interesting. Anyway, 177 for 8 was where England ended up, losing the match by 8 runs. So very, very, as I said, disappointing chase, considering it's been a lot easier to chase on these tracks. So not good. Charles says 8 runs is what Curran and Jordan had to score, not be a Hercules. True. True. That's true. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you, Charles, 100%. Just really, I think, very good bowling. I mean, look at Hardik Pandya went for 4 and over for two wickets. Unbelievable bowling display. That's really good. He's actually impressed, I think, with the ball, especially this series so far. And that puts India in good stead, just options-wise, going into the World Cup, because they'll have Jadeja come back and others. Bumrah, for example, as well. But at least they know that they can, if they need to, and they want to make up their team where Hardik Pandya is your 5th bowler. At least now they have faith that he can do a good job, which is really good, right? It's really good for them because they now know that, okay, we can rely on him. I don't necessarily know if England would think the same with Stokes at the moment in T20s bowling-wise, whether they actually expect him or they would rely on him or think he's an option to bowl 4 overs. Whereas Pandya at the moment for India have taken that risk. Maybe England should have done it, or maybe they should do it in one of the T20s. They should have seen if Stokes could bowl 4 overs in a couple of games and just see is that an option, and then put an extra batsman in there. Why not? They could have, but they haven't. And maybe take out Sam Curran and put in, I don't know. I mean, Moeen Ali is a bowler as well. He's all rounder. Who else could they put in? They could have put in Livingston. Anyone else? Anyway. Charles says India learned a few things this game. Hardik is capable of giving me all 4 consistently. Yeah, it seems so, doesn't he? I think in India, especially, obviously the conditions, he seems to be able to bowl well. Good slow balls as well. Good variation. Charles says also Sundar isn't very effective after the first 10 overs. Yeah, I agree. Got a lot of tap, didn't he? And Charles says Rahul Chahar did well for his debut. Yeah, he bowled quite well, didn't he? I thought he bowled well. Shardul Thakur is an interesting one because I don't know whether he'll be in the team if they have everyone fit. I'm assuming they'll go Natarajan and Bumrah instead of him. And who else will they drop? Who will they go with? Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Chahal would get dropped for Jadeja. And then Washington Sundar, would he stay on the side? I guess he would. They want 2 spinners, and then you have. But then I guess you drop. I don't know. You drop Takor for Bumrah. Takor picked up 3 wickets. In fairness to him, and went for 42. But bowling the death that happened. So fair play, guys in the chat as well. Thank you very much for joining. Please do remember to like this video. It really does help, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And just share it with anyone that you think might enjoy cricket or enjoy these live streams or just enjoy anything really, even if they enjoy boxing or tennis or interviews, etc. Do share it. It really does help as well. Just grow the channel for sure. India versus England 2-2, and it's going to be interesting to see now what happens going forward in that deciding T20, which I should be streaming. I probably won't stream all of it, but I'll most likely stream the chase at least, if not more, like I did today. So probably the back end of the first innings plus the chase as well. So majority of the match. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I also have an exciting international cricketer interview that I did with West Indies player Hayden Walsh Jr., leg spinner. So I'll be releasing that as well in the next couple of days. Probably tomorrow, actually. Probably tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that as well. India winning by 8 runs, really impressive. Charles says Shardul Thakur won't play certainly when Shami and Bumrah are back. Yeah, I agree. And he says Deepak Chahar and Bhuvi are in the competition for the new ball bowlers. What about Natarajan, Achal? What about him? Well, I thought Natarajan was good in the Australia series. Good Yorkers as well, and he's a lefty. And he's not just a lefty like Sam Curran, who doesn't necessarily have a lot of pace. He's got a bit of pace about him as well. I was impressed by him. I was impressed. Okay, I will love you and leave you guys. Thank you everyone for joining. Please do remember to like this video, as I said, and subscribe. It really does help. Share it, all that good stuff. You know. Have a fantastic evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you are. You're all legends, and I'm just super glad we got a competitive match here, to be honest with you, because it's the first one, I think, of the tour so far. Fingers crossed as well we get another very competitive match, which I'm sure it will be, as the decider on Saturday. So please do check it out. Please do tune in for Saturday for the decider, and we'll see. Charles says Natarajan and Saini, no chance for the World Cup. Really? I thought Natarajan would. I thought he was good, but okay, fair enough. I thought, especially as a left-hander as well, but maybe not then. Saini, no, he's too erratic. Cool. Thank you very much, guys, and see you on the next stream. And keep an eye out, as I said, for the videos coming up. There'll be quite a few. And as I said, an interview with West Indies a leg spinner, Hayden Walsh Jr., who also got the MVP for the CPL in 2019. So I had a fantastic conversation with him. So I'll be releasing that soon. And he talks about playing for West Indies, his experience in career so far, how he got into cricket, and of course we touched upon the Universe boss and lots of other West Indies players as well that you were like, cool. Thank you very much, guys. Charles, thanks for on. It was really fun. Thank you, Charles, as well for joining as always. Great to have you on. And Charles says, have a good day. Thank you too. And see you guys on the next stream. Thank you very much.